Switch the guarantee. E&E. Put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no grace. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gold. You get in this place. E&E, the shit that I claim to be dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like mom mixtape. Cowrie cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy. When it's sick of me, I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, until comes to Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through transparency. Credit self-esteem, low insecurity. Now or never, like, push the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn a page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live it down. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Put fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys E&E, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, double.
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Low, sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shake the extra, slash bit the start of these street blues. What I talk, for your blood flowing free. Power on my mind, no say gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to me. My nigga, we begging pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they need pardon. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how the mellow. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you was asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pulled the jokers out the deck. There ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the VBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Yeah. What up? Y'all already know it's the man about town, Virgil, aka Stats with the Facts. And y'all know y'all tuned in to another episode of Real Talk Podcast. It's Sunday night. Y'all already know what it is. Spiritual Roots Sundays, and we about to go in. How everybody doing this evening, man? Smash that like button, meet and greet each other as y'all come in. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social media, social engineering, all of that. What's good with everybody, man? How y'all doing? It's a beautiful Sunday evening, even though it's all dreary and wet and rainy outside. You know what I'm talking about? We still gonna make it happen, though. Hold on real quick, y'all. Yeah, man, my bad, y'all. I apologize about that. That was Pasquale calling me right there, letting me know everything is a go. Something's going on his phone still, so he ain't gonna be able to tap through on the camera on the StreamYard, but we definitely gonna call him back here on the phone in a few short seconds. So we're gonna get that damn thing going. What's going on with y'all, man? How y'all doing tonight, man? It's Spiritual Roots Sundays, man. Y'all ready to go? You know what I'm saying? We got my man Randall Modu in the building. Aloha to you as well, brethren. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all ready to go? This is going to be a deep teaching tonight, man. As y'all see by the thumbnail, man, we're going to be discussing the spiritual roots of anatomy and biology. You did? You know what I'm saying? You did? Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We definitely going to get straight to it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, we're going to get into it tonight, man, because this is a this is a very sensitive subject. It's going to be a powerful teaching tonight. You know what I'm saying? Next level, as we always do. And I'm just happy that y'all here to get this teaching tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor and a privilege and a blessing for me. You know what I'm talking about? An honor, a privilege, and a blessing to sit up here on this beautiful Sunday evening, Labor Day Eve, you know what I'm saying, and have this teaching with y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing tonight, man? What's going on with y'all? Make sure y'all meet and greet each other as y'all come up through. You did. Yeah, last night, man, was a beautiful night last night. We went in, listening party from our brother Glitch the Guarantee. It was a beautiful thing. Thanks to everybody for coming out last night. You know what I'm saying? I hope that y'all got a more in-depth look at my brother Glitch the Guarantee and the music that he doing. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all took the time to go check him out on your streaming platforms, your streaming services. You know what I'm saying? Go check that out. So you can get on YouTube right now. Go check it out, man. Go listen to that Up in Smoke Volume 2 featuring me and the whole E&E family. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what we do it. You know what I'm saying? Saturdays. For the next few Saturdays coming up, we're going to be having the live listening parties, man. You know what I'm talking about? Next Saturday coming up, we're going to have a live listening party from our brother Cortland, a.k.a. Rain Man, a.k.a. Rain Money. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a live listening party for the his debut album, Rainstorms. You know what I'm saying? We're going in on that for sure. And it's going to be a beautiful thing, man. Cam, that boy, what's good, boy? Boy, where you been, boy? You hear me? I hope y'all ready for this teaching tonight, man. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be powerful, man. I think tonight is going to be one of the most powerful Spiritual Roots episodes for lots of reasons. You know, we're going to get to the spiritual roots of this anatomy and this biology, man. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to get straight to it. Tap in and walk with us, man. How y'all doing tonight, though? Tomorrow night, we're going to be discussing this Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears demonstration situation. Definitely going to get into it tomorrow for the Labor Day. You know what I mean? I know a lot of y'all probably are aware of this situation. Maybe y'all seen it. It's all over the internet. And I'm going to just say the chickens have come home to roost. I bet Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish probably forgot all about this. They probably thought that this would never resurface. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't have no recollection of even ever doing it. And that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day right there. You know what I'm saying? But like I've been telling y'all, they coming for our kids. Anybody who's been rocking with me and paying attention to my platforms over the years, y'all know that this is something that I've been saying. I'm going to continue to say it. I'm never going to stop saying it. They are coming for our children. And we're going to dig into that whole situation with Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish tomorrow, too. How long I've been telling y'all about Tiffany Haddish, man? Cat Williams to sit up there and warn y'all. You hear me? I done sit up there and told y'all about goddamn Tiffany Haddish. She's not funny at all. She came in the game on some fly-by-night shit. You hear me? Being a whore. And now that she's having all the success she's having, we can see why, because she definitely participated in some ritualistic acts. You know, even symbolically involving children. There's no telling what these people be actually involved with behind the scenes. It could be argued, but one thing for sure, two things for certain. That imagery displayed on that show, on that clip, on that skit, whatever it was, Funny or Die, whatever the hell it was horrible. Nothing ever involving children and sexualizing them or putting them in a sexual situation or position or anything that has to do with any type of sexualizing the children is horrible, it's bad, it's deplorable, it's distasteful, and it is demon time in its nature, guaranteed. It ain't never funny to joke. Lance Parker was good. It ain't never funny to sit up here and joke and make fun of anything having to do with children and them being sexually violated, molested, or sexually assaulted in any way. There's absolutely nothing comedy or comical about it. And I like to think that most of us agree with that sentiment. So that's why I named the topic or the title of tomorrow's show, hashtag Ari Spears and hashtag Tiffany Haddish got some goddamn explaining to do. And they do. You got to start asking yourself about these people, man. Where do these people come from? Now, when we're talking about Ari Spears, and we're going to get into this tomorrow too, Ari Spears, he may put off this persona as if he's this masculine guy, but don't ever forget on Mad TV, he used to dress up like a broad. Don't ever forget that. And we're going to get into that tomorrow too. Where did Tiffany Haddish come from? Is she really funny? Cat Williams went in on her, and we're going to look at that tomorrow as well. So y'all can best believe, man, tomorrow night's show, we're going to dig into this issue a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure, as everybody is always probably getting the gist or the idea or the feeling that this is, there's more to this story than what we're being told. Clearly. There's clearly more to this story than what we're being told. And the question you have to ask yourself, like I always say, what's the first two questions I say we need to always ask ourselves when these situations pop up with these so-called famous people that they put in front of us? Cupcake in the building was good. The first two questions we should always ask ourselves is why? Why are they doing this? What is the purpose and reason of them doing this? And then the second question has to be cui bono, which is Latin for who benefits. Who benefits from Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish playing in a skit that was allegedly showing awareness or shining light on, child predators? Or, you know what I mean? We got to ask, what was the purpose in that? Who benefits from that? Why did they do it? How did Ari Spears benefit from that? How did Tiffany Haddish benefit from that? How did that little boy in that scene, how did he benefit from that? How do we as the public benefit from seeing something like that? How did his parents benefit from allowing him to be a part of such a production? And when you start asking those questions, specifically, especially pertaining to these so-called famous people, the road that leads you down might not be one you'd be willing to traverse. How about that? But see, that's what y'all got me for, because I'm willing to go down them roads. See, I don't have no set belief system, you know what I'm saying, as far as anything that's worldly, so my imagination ain't closed. My mind is open to many different possibilities. You know, so I'm just blessed that the Most High has blessed me. I'm thankful that the Most High has blessed me with that ability to have an open mind. Because like I always tell y'all got to have an open mind to be able to connect this stuff together. Not a deep mind, not a brilliant mind, not a smart mind. But you got to have an open mind. And you got to have an open heart as well, right? But you don't supposed to trust your heart, right? Your heart's not going to always tell you the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Simple P when he always say this and refer to this scripture. The heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it? Right? So when you hear people say don't make moves unless your heart's in it, you better understand what heart they talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You better understand and know what heart they talking about. You hear me? I didn't know this was a movie. It's a movie in 2004 that came out that's called The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things. Did y'all know that? Jeremiah 1 or Jeremiah 17 and 9. The heart is deceitful above all things. Who can understand it? Who could know it? So y'all don't be sitting up there trusting decisions based off of your heart. And what I always tell y'all, especially for us men, we cannot be making decisions based off of how we feel. Feelings is connected to your heart, not your infinite, eternal, everlasting, existing, non-existent at the same time heart, but your carnal, fallen state heart, which is pumping blood through your body right now. Two different things, two different awarenesses, two different entities, two different things. You hear me? The heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it? So don't be making moves. Don't be feeling like you can't make moves unless your heart is in it. Stop doing everything based on how you feel. Especially y'all men out there. Don't be making decisions based off of how you feel. You know what I'm saying? We can't be, like I say, us men, we cannot be emotional. We can express our emotions. We can identify our emotions so we know that we are expressing them and how to express them, but we cannot become or allow ourselves to become or be in an emotional state. You will not make rational decisions based off of your emotions. Yes, Ashley, yes. See, women, y'all are the lesser species, so y'all tend to be a little bit more emotionally inclined and connected than us men. That's where the femininity and the masculinity comes in, right? Now, like I said, as a man, it is absolutely imperative that you not only be able to identify your emotions, but you be able to express them healthily, right? Healthily, you know what I'm saying? In a healthy fashion. But we are never to identify with our emotions as if or as in them making us who we are, right? Our emotions are a example of what we are, but they're not an explanation of who we are. Understand the difference, y'all. Right? And even women, you know, it's not now understand what I'm saying when I say this. Walk with me, man. You hear me? Y'all are the lesser, weaker vessels, right? So with that being said, y'all are more emotionally in tune and inclined. But even in that being a part of y'all's nature, right? This is why it is not designed for y'all to lead, be an authority of anything or anybody except for the children. And that's up until a certain age, right? But especially specifically to have authority over men because y'all are emotional in nature and y'all will make rash decisions based off of emotion versus making decisions off of logic and reason using your mind. Not your brain, but your mind, like men do. All right. Now, keep in mind that God didn't create y'all in His image. Uh-oh. I said the Most High didn't create woman in his image. You hear me? So, you know what I'm saying? When we having these discussions, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to understand the difference between expressing and identifying emotions and being emotional, right? And since y'all are emotional in y'all's nature to some degree, due to the hack, or what my father refers to as the fall, right? Adam's fall. As a result of that, y'all have become synced and linked with the spirit of emotions. The Most High didn't create emotions. He didn't design us to have emotions. You hear me? And we're gonna get into that too, as we're talking about the spiritual roots of anatomy and biology. I'm about to call my dad here on the phone in a minute, but y'all know I gotta talk my stuff a minute for this little monologue situation demonstration. Hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe to the page, click on the bell and all of that, man. Share on your social engineering, man. Tell everybody to tap in and walk with us. This Spiritual Roots Sundays on April Talk. What it do, y'all? Y'all ready? You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Now, when we're talking about the spiritual roots of anatomy and biology, man, like I said, man, a lot of our body parts and bodily functions, the Most High definitely did not name them, and they are all results of, like I said, the fall or the hack. And most of our body parts and most of our bodily functions are named after demons. And we're gonna get to that. And when I say demons, I mean literal demons. When you do the history on what these body parts and functions are named after, they're named after deities from different ancient religions and ancient cultures and societies. And we're going to get straight to it, man. Remember I told you about the Grigori? Yeah, man. It's levels to this stuff, man. It's levels. And that's why y'all got me and my pops here, man, to break down the spiritual roots. Now, everybody hit that like button, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do something different tonight, too. We're going to have an open panel tonight. I'm going to drop the link. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to have people come up and y'all can ask y'all's questions, man. You know what I'm saying? If you don't mind sitting in the queue, that's on you. You know what I'm talking about? But we definitely going to have some people come up. You know what I'm saying? And we drop the link here in a few short seconds. Yeah, though, man. You know what I'm saying? And I always try to tell my homies this, man. Like, man, you cannot allow yourself to become emotional, man. And we human, you know, we make mistakes, might slip up, though, man. But see, as a man, you can't make decisions based off of how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Because if I made decisions based off of how I feel, I probably would be back in prison right now. Or worse. That's why it's our job as men. We have to be rational. We have to be critically thinking. We have to have some order and some structure and discipline in how we think and how we move and operate. We can't be out here just making decisions off of how we feel at the moment. That's a very feminine trait. And that's why you got a lot of young guys out here acting crazy, wilding out, because they are emotional. Responding to many things in much ways like how a female would. Now, imagine if women were given the ability to have control over nukes or armies or militarized, weaponized technology. And that is exactly why there has not been any societies that have lasted throughout history to this day that was strictly, solely built by women. And when we get down to the anatomy and biology, man, this is one of the things that's going to eventually coming up, because this is what separates and differentiates the two sexes or genders that we have been programmed to start identifying with now. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's all connected, y'all, man. And you know what I'm saying? We're going to get to it, man. I'm about to call Pops up here in a second. We're going to get him on the jack. We're going to chop it up, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is where we at every Sunday, 8 o'clock. We getting it in over here at A Real Talk Podcast, man. Spiritual Roots Sundays. You know what I'm saying? We going in. It's going to be a problem. I'm telling y'all right now, I can already feel it. I know y'all probably do too. It's going to be a powerful teaching tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad, he's excited about this. He's been doing this research. He been said, he just talked to him on the phone earlier. He said some other things, you know what I'm saying? The Most High have revealed some other things to him, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, of course, we're going to go in, lay foundation, and we're going to get straight to it. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to drop the link. Y'all can come up, ask y'all's questions, add in if y'all can add on to the situation, you know what I'm saying? And we definitely going to do the demonstration like that. But I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. Like I said, y'all could be anywhere in the world on this Sunday evening, but y'all right here with me and my pops. We appreciate that. We honor that. We respect that. We cherish that. We do not take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? It's a powerful, beautiful thing. You know what I mean? And y'all go ahead and tell y'all peoples about Sunday nights over here on A Real Talk Podcast, Spiritual Roots, man. I know a lot of people are getting into this subject and this topic here recently due to the current state of our society, especially globally. And you know what I'm saying? A lot of things are being revealed. A lot of things are seeing to come to pass. And you know what I'm saying? We're starting to see that we need to be prepared for certain things. So, you know, we also realize and recognize that the current state of the churches are just not doing that. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your denomination is, what your faith is. They are doing a horrible, terrible disservice to the people. Most of the religions have been infiltrated by L.S.D himself. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That's another reason why, you know what I'm saying, you got people popping up that does not your average or what you would normally think these information will be coming from. You would think you will be hearing this information in the churches, but you're not, because they have become the synagogue of Satan, and they're not absolutely going to break down things like this to you whatsoever. They don't want you to know this stuff because it's going to lead you back to you. Andrea, what's good? Blessings, manners, blessings, and respects to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Manners, blessings, and respect to everybody, man. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to get into it tonight. We're going to break it down. You hear me? Beautiful, man. It's truly beautiful. I appreciate all y'all coming out. Like I said, y'all could be anywhere, but y'all right here with us, man, and we thank y'all for that. Y'all ready to learn something that you ain't never heard before, man? And this is not to be on like trying to shame or ridicule the church, but I'm definitely shaming and ridiculing the church, though. Because I done been to them since I've been home, y'all. And I'm just sitting here telling y'all that most of y'all's churches, most of them are the synagogue of Satan. I hate to say that, man. I mean, I'm not going to say I hate to say that, but it disheartens me to say that. You know, it disappoints me to say that, but it's true nonetheless. Why do you think so many people are leaving the church nowadays? Why do you think so many people are totally absconding and separating themselves from the church, and then to the point to where people are even willing to go to demon time so-called religions just to get away from Christianity? One of these days, I'm going to sit up here and have a show, and I'm going to break down what the word Christian really means. Right. Notice that Jesus in the Bible, or should I say Yeshua in the Bible, never called himself or anybody Christians, but the word Christian is definitely mentioned in the Bible. Yeshua just didn't say it, though. Right. And a lot of y'all don't really know what Christianity is, or the roots of the word Christian. That's why y'all got a guy like me. Yes, the church don't teach scripture. They celebrate paganism. They doing demon time and plus sex magic, especially sex magic and witchcraft. And this is why so many people are leaving the church nowadays. And this is why it's in the state that it's in, because it's been designed to be that way. You know? Tap in and walk with us, y'all. Hit that like button. You know what I'm talking about? Definitely hit the like button. You feel me? Hit that like button. Tap in and walk with us, y'all. We definitely about to go in. I'm about to call Pops up on the jack right now.
Hello?
What's up, old man?
All right. How you doing, son? How you doing? Can everyone out there hear me?
Yeah, they can hear. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all hear my pops, man. I think they can hear you, though. They can hear me. They can hear you. What's up with you, pops, man?
All right, I'm doing all right today. I thank God for another day above the earth. I'd like to wish everyone out there in YouTube land a happy Sunday and a good Sunday. Hope all your weeks have been nice and everyone has been doing well, prospering, being happy.
Right.
And just feeling good, just being alive again.
It's a beautiful thing. You good, pops?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just waiting for you to just introduce myself. You know.
Yeah. Well, you all the way live right now. Everybody can hear you, so you go ahead and just do your demo, man. I'm gonna fall back, and when you need me to top in and chime in, and I'm right here waiting in the cut like a band-aid. You know what I'm talking about?
All right, son. Mm-hmm. Okay, we go there. First of all, I want to make a statement to clear up what you had just mentioned about what people know what it means to be Christ-like, and they don't know the word and what the meaning of Christ or Christians, let me say.
Right.
The word Christian really means Christ-like.
Right.
Okay? That's the definition of it. That's what it stands for. You will find it in the word of God. It mentions about Christians, but that's what it's related to. That's why the first letters of it is spelled with Christ first. Okay? Because that represents him. It's a symbolic meaning of you being like him, so you being Christ-like, That's where the word Christians come from, That was made just for the children of God, those who are born again, those who receive the baptism of the Holy Ghost, those who receive and accept and is given salvation through Christ, okay? That's what they're called. They're considered as being Christians, just like football players, athletes, you go on down the line, and if you understand what I'm saying, then you'll know what I mean by when I just said that. So that's what Christ-like means, okay, from Christians. Christians, Christ-like. Christ-like Christians. Any way you mix it up and say it, it all still refers back to the likeness of Christ.
All right. Now, let's balance it out real quick, y'all. You hear me now? Let's balance it out. And this is why I always what you said, Pops?
I was going to say, now that we got that out the way, that was just something I wanted to throw in because that was the last thing you were speaking about before, you went on to where we are right now. So I just wanted to pick it up.
Right.
We don't have to have people trying to wonder or be in curiosity about anything over a period of time. As fast as that they ask it and they want to know it, that's what I'm going to give it to them.
Right. Okay. So now let's balance it out, right? Now listen here, because this is revelation right here. I just came into this information. You hear me?
Okay.
Right. Now the term Christian, right? And this is why I say whatever the Most High has in purity, L.S.D has an inverse or a copy or inversion of it, right?
That's right.
Now, when we think about the term Christian was a Roman Catholic term that was used to signify what certain tax bracket as being a citizen of the Roman Empire that you are. So the term Christian is actually a tax identification term to see what type of tax bracket you would be in and what type of taxes you would have to pay to the Empire of Rome, right? So when you think about what a Christian is in the Bible and when it was used, if you look at the passage which it was used in, you'll see the context of it was used in reference to people who had to pay certain type of money due to their tax bracket as being a Christian. And it had nothing to do with the Most High. That's why I say that's that inversion. That's that manipulation. Whatever the Most High has in origin and design, L.S.D has an inversion or a copy or a manipulated or a manufactured copy of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll get into that at another time, but go ahead, Pops.
All right. That was a good revelation, son, and I bear witness with that also, too. I bear witness with that.
Right.
The fact that you brought that up like that, that's the way that the Romans was able to separate
you know, from the rest of the people to Christians. You know, and that's the name title that they gave them. You know, right. See, I'm never too old to say that I'm not wrong. You know, and always at the age that I can still continue to learn and grow myself.
We only smart enough to know how much we do not know.
Right.
I'm gonna repeat that. We're only smart enough to know how much we do not know. Right.
Okay, that's true.
So when you think about the term Christian as being a reference to a tax bracket, as in relation to a certain amount of money you have to pay to the Roman Empire, right? Now think about that applied to what we know as the current Christian religion in the Christian industry. Right. Especially when you think about it in relationship to the Universal Catholic Church.
I knew you were going to say that.
Right, and especially when we think about how the universal, notice I said universal Catholic Church is infiltrated in every major government on this planet, and they run and operate much like a Fortune 100 company.
Right.
And everybody, and listen here goes some more revelation for y'all, and this is more connection to when I talk to y'all about the inversion, right? Everything that the Most High has in origin and creation and fairness and balance and beauty and all that, the L.S.D got to come and muck it up in some weird type of way, right? You know what I'm saying? Now think about it like this, right? You know what I'm saying? When we thinking about this, the Catholic Church, remember when my pops the other day said that all souls belong to me? This is what the Most High said.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that? I know you remember that, Pops.
Oh, definitely.
This is what L.S.D, as in his representation and infiltration of the Universal Catholic Church through the goddamn Pope wearing that damn fish hat, right? You hear me? The Pope now claims that all souls belong to him through what is known as unum sanctum. How many of y'all know what unum sanctum is? Right? This is why I say the Universal Catholic Church is the synagogue of Satan. You hear me? How many of y'all know what unum sanctum means or have heard of that term? Right? Pope Boniface VIII with his demon time ass, right? Spirit cooking and all of that. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? And this is when we talk about when we get into the spiritual Pope Boniface VIII is the Pope who enacted the edict of unum sanctum, meaning all souls belong to the church or to the vicar of Christ, which is the Pope. And we know that's a lie.
Yeah.
We know that's a lie from the deepest, darkest pit of hell. So with that being said, y'all, we have to have the testicular fortitude to say what it is. The Universal Catholic Church is the synagogue of Satan, and the Pope is the earthly representation of L.S.D himself wearing that damn fish hat. You hear me? So yeah, we're going to break it down straight like that. You hear me? Everything the Most High has in origin and beauty in this design, in this holy order, L.S.D has an inverse. Uncle Diggity in the building, what's good? You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind, man, whenever we having these spiritual roots discussions, man, you know what I'm saying? And think about that as in relation to our reality, which is a copy of the originality.
Okay.
You know, go ahead and talk to him, Pops.
All right. Everyone out there, like I said, to YouTube land, good evening to you all. Hope y'all got your spiritual ears on and your spiritual eyes open to receive what is about ready to be given to you. I prayed on it. Ask God to bless it, sanctify it, and to let it go to those that need to hear it, that it'll sink into your soul, your hearts, and your spirit, and that it'll do you some good and edify you and get you closer and knowing who he is and closer to the kingdom of God. Our podcast for this Sunday, the topic is the spiritual and physical anatomy of man and woman, externally and internally. Okay? Our subject is going to be the human body. The message, God's greatest creation, is man, the only one made in his own image and likeness of himself, and the only one that has a spirit, same as God. Adam was the only one of his kind not having a mate when God first made him.
Right. Now, hold on, let me stop you real quick. Now, Adam wasn't the first one, got y'all attention with that one. Y'all know Adam wasn't God's first creation, though, right? Y'all know that, right? Y'all understand that, right? Adam wasn't the first man. We're going to get into that, though. Go ahead and talk to him, Pops.
Right, because that'll come out, too, later on.
Right.
In my note. Okay. But the footnote is, all his other creation had life in themselves. He said he made male and female.
Right.
All his other creation, the animals, the four-footed beasts, the fowls of the air, the birds, even that was in the sea and the oceans and the water, they automatic was male and female. He made two of them each when he began to make the rest of his creation.
Right.
But Adam is the first of his kind being made man without a mate. Another footnote, Adam was not a baby. Adam never experienced birth like we have.
Talk to him.
Adam never had parents like we have, or how we come through.
Right.
Okay. Adam was not born. He was made and created. We are born.
Understand the difference, man, between being made, born, and created.
And he was a full man, not a baby or infant, like we are, and the way we come through now when we are born into the earth. Those are just footnotes to go out there to you all.
Right. Right. Go ahead, Pops.
Okay. So he was the only one of his kind when God made him in the likeness.
Now, let me stop you right there. Now, notice my dad said he was the only of his kind. Right? And this is why I tell y'all to study etymology, man. You hear me? He was the first of his kind. Mankind. You hear me? But then we have other types like mankind with an E, K-I-N-E. Just keep that in mind as we keep going. Go ahead, Pops.
And at the same time, Adam, he was taken from the dust of the ground.
Right.
Then God began to artistically design and form the body of man out of clay, putting all the parts of him together. Okay?
Right.
All right, I'm going to follow my notes.
Take your time, man.
All right. Footnote. Now, when God got to that point of making Adam from the dust, now God started to see man in his likeness and his image.
Right.
I'm getting ready to break down and give you the definition and the meaning, what the likeness is and what the image is on the spiritual level. We're in the Garden of Eden. Every time I start off my podcast, it's always start from Genesis 1, okay?
From the source.
Of Eden.
From the source.
From the source. That's the foundation. That's the source. So I'm going to give you the meaning of the likeness of God and also the image of God. Two
different things now, y'all. Not the same thing.
And they both have definitely two different meanings.
Yes.
And always keep this spiritually now.
Yeah. Use your higher mind, man. Use it. Don't try to think about this, man, in the abstract, three-dimensional, you know what I'm saying, matrix type of man. You got to use your wider open. That's why I say think open. Use your open mind, man. Use you know what I'm saying, tap into that God energy that's in you, man, that just you was creating in the likeness of, to be able to understand this, man. Let's go, Pops.
And I also let you know when I'm speaking about the physical aspect of it, and natural aspect of it, and the spiritual aspect of it.
Right.
So in his likeness and in his image, while all the time shaping and fashioning him into what he wanted man to look like, giving him features, dimensions, depth, okay, and structure, and texture, and then putting man together. Let me switch up for a minute and get into where I can show you what the likeness is with what I was referring to.
Okay, talk to him. Walk him down slow.
The outward exterior, or the part of the human body, physical part of him, of man, is his head. I'm just going to run through these real quick. The head, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, the neck, the shoulders, the chest, the torso, the stomach, the arms, the legs, the hands, the fingers, the feet, the knees, the heel, the toes, the knuckles, the elbows. Okay? That's pretty much the outer structure part of man's body. Okay? And every part of man's body, from on the outside parts of it, serves a purpose and has its place and function. And yet they all work together and operate in sync with each other.
Mm.
These are the other parts of outside of the human body. The buttocks, the groin. Okay, we're going to hit on that again with the other one, about the penis, and I said vagina, okay? But my son brought something up about that, which that I'm going to put that on hold, and then we're going to get back to that, and it'll be put in its right perspective, pronunciation of what it really is.
Right.
But the scrotum, okay, the fallopian tubes, and you'll know which one part of who I'm talking about when I name the parts. I hope you do anyway. The anus, the breast, I say woman's breast, man's breast, because men have breasts too. They call it chest, but still. Then that goes into the internal part. So when God was putting all this together, now I'm going to tie back into the likeness and the image. The likeness is a representation of something that is in connection with being as the same of, or likeness of.
Right.
Okay. Now, God is a spirit. So everything that what he was making, when he was making Adam, okay, and creating him, like I was saying, in his features and all that about him, his outside features and his looks and everything, this is God's imagination, or what we call image. That's the word imagination comes from, the word image.
Right.
Okay. So in his image, he was making Adam naturally and physically in his own likeness, the way that he wanted Adam to look. Okay.
Right.
His appearance, you know, how he looked, the way he looked, is distinct from all other of his creation. That he made him totally unique and different in a way that he had made none of his other creation. Are you following me so far?
Yes.
Okay. Now, getting back to what we call, when I said the scrotum and the penis and the vagina and that part of each male and female,
Right.
like my son said, God never named those specific parts when he created and made Adam. He referred to it as the reproduction organs of man and woman.
Right.
He gave men the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to describe and name the different parts of the reproduction organs of man and woman. And that's when we come up with the names that we have, the vagina and the penis and all those other parts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
God will put knowledge and wisdom into man to help construct and for us to understand who we are as being human beings and being people and having our bodies. That's why doctors come from God, okay? He put that knowledge and wisdom and understanding into man. See, God is awesome. He knew that we would need to be taken care of. Our bodies will be damaged, hurt. And he had doctors put into this earth through man, by man, for man, to help us when our bodies go wicky-wacky or when something is needed that we need healing. Okay? And the only way that he would know what would be wrong with us is that he would have to know all the external and internal body parts of man.
Right.
That's how we come to know that we have arms and legs. Out of all the members of the body on the outside that I just mentioned, that's how we know what they are. God gave that knowledge. That knowledge was already instilled into man to know. Because he knows later on up the road, we would need to be tending to our bodies. Our bodies have to be taken care of. Another footnote. From the day that you are born, deterioration immediately starts setting in into the body.
That's why it says every day we die.
You see?
Yeah.
Deterioration almost it's a natural part of man once he comes into the earth.
Mm-hmm. That's
why God told Adam back in the garden that the day you eat thereof of this fruit, he said you shall surely die.
Yeah.
He was speaking of also natural death as well.
Right. Perpetual deterioration, perpetual. Now, remember when I was telling y'all about the Baphomet, which fits into what we're talking about, when he got tattooed on his arm, et solve coagula, which means the dissolving of God's creation, basically. And that's L.S.D's whole goal. Now, let's get to a little bit more foundation on these body parts here. When the Most High designed his most beautiful creation, which is us, then design us with certain things. Certain things we have now are a result of what my father calls the fall, or what I refer to the hack. And I say the hack because that I found that describing this in computer terms for younger people, especially nowadays, makes them allow them to understand the correlation and connection a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to our penis on men or males and vaginas on women, into the various parts of the reproductive system, you know what I'm saying? They have been manipulated as a result and as a Eve's contact with the serpent. You hear me? The churches don't break this down. You know what I'm saying? As a result of Eve's contact with the serpent, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Certain parts of the body, like my pops was describing, that, like I said, everything that the Most High has in his beautiful design, the L.S.D has to make a copy of it, right? An inverted, distorted copy of it at that. Hence why y'all heard me say distorted and balanced awareness. You hear me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the contact with the serpent, which was sexual contact, as me and my father explained a couple of weeks ago, right? Due to this was some genetic alteration and modification and manipulation. And as a result, we have our body parts that we have that were not a part of the original design because we didn't procreate in the way in which we do now. You know, so you understand when my pop say you got to take it to the spiritual. We procreated in the spiritual sense. That's a concept that most of y'all probably won't be able to comprehend, not so on your intelligence, but you gotta have a spiritual mind to understand what it is that I'm saying right now. Understand that when Adam and Eve was created, they did not have these body parts. They were not reproducing or procreating or even blessed with the ability to do that by the Most High yet. They didn't even come to the knowledge of certain things until they ate the fruit.
Exactly.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So when we think about the penis, right? And we think about that word, you know what I'm saying? Penis. You know what I'm saying? It's some history to this stuff, y'all. And it goes back into what we may know as Greek mythology, Roman, Catholic, Greco-Roman mythology, and ancient societies mythology. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Penis, vagina, ovaries, all that stuff, ovum. These are the names of ancient Roman and Greek demons, deities. You know what I'm saying? Like when we think about the word penis, right? Penis spelled backwards is Sinip or Sinope, right? And Sinope was a Sinope was a Greek god that was also known as Phanes or Phanes, right? And this is where all these names derive from, y'all. You hear me? All these names for our body parts, you know what I'm saying? Even ovaries. You know what I'm saying? Ovaries is named after a deity out of Roman, you know what I'm saying? Roman esoteric worship. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to pull it up for y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be telling y'all to study etymology, man, and study these words, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where when you study these words, you see where they stem from and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But when you think about these words, man, you got to be able to do your etymology and connect the dots, man. Words like clitoris, and this is the thing. What I'll be telling y'all about this Baphomet agenda too. Clitoris in ancient Greek and Roman mythology was the name of a demon who was actually a male demon. In reverse, penis or Sinip or Sinope spelled backwards, right, was the name of a female deity, right? So, and when you do your research into this stuff, you start connecting the dots with this stuff, y'all. And these deities were represented the Baphomet agenda or transgenderism. This stuff is historical roots to this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is all to just mess up what God had in original design. Because remember my pastor said he created male and female, right? So now in reverse, in inverse, L.S.D has to create the exact inverse of that. I want y'all to understand how powerful that is. You know what I'm talking about, Pops, man?
Yes, yes.
I want y'all to understand how powerful that is and how that's just a representation of our whole reality, like I said, which is a copy of the originality, and how everything that we are experiencing in this reality is inverted in a result of basically like a virus hacked into a computer program. You hear me? That's the best way I can describe it for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we're watching that in the process of fully assimilating the program, or people who have identified with the program and synced and linked with the program, believing the program to be that which who they are, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus what they actually are and who they actually are. Big difference. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all think about all these body parts that we have, most of them are named after these ancient religions and cultures, demons and deities that they worshipped. You know what I'm saying? Down to ovaries, which is from a base word, ovum, O-V-U-M. You hear me? Clitoris, penis, or spelled backwards, Sinip, Siniope, or Sinope, or Sinip. You hear me? All these names of pharmaceutical drugs are named after ancient cultures and civilizations, demons, and deities that they worshipped. and we would call them gods and stuff like that, like out of the Egyptian pantheon and the Greek pantheon and the Roman pantheon and all these different cultures from Asia and all that stuff. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and talk to him, Pops.
Okay. I wanted to share a little bit more light also to keep on the same path with what we're talking about now as far as with the image and the likeness.
Right.
A little bit more on the image. The image is the ability to form mental images of things that are not present to the senses or not considered to be real or never before, okay, or wholly perceived in reality. How the imagination is used to write like a book or movies, songs or poems, chooses to create something unique, the action of processing of forming such images or concepts, for an example, like worlds or such things, you know?
Right.
Houses, whatever that you can create from out of the mind, from your imagination, which is an image that you give yourself in your mind.
Right.
To manifest it, to bring it forth to where that it manifests itself in the natural and physical realm.
Mm-hmm.
This is what God was doing when he was in the steps of creating and making man, when he began to create and make the body parts, okay, and all the things on the outside of man that he was putting and making him in. Now, mind you, when he was doing all this, the body of Adam was still in the form of dust, which I would say clay, okay? So just like what a sculptor does when he's making an art, you know, when he's sculpting something, if it's a human being, he starts off with clay. And every part of that sculpture that he's making is all clay. So this is still the form of what God was doing with Adam, but on the spiritual concept. All he was doing was just speaking it, okay? It wasn't like he was doing like what a sculptor do today. If you watch a sculptor, he would take and use his hands. No, God just spoke it. You know, I want him to have arms. I want him to have legs. I want him to have fingers. I want him to have toes. Go back to Genesis 1. The God, he spoke everything. Let there be. Let there be. That's the same way he did when he was forming and creating and fashioning and making Adam. He was doing the same thing. He was just speaking it. And all these things was coming forth and manifesting itself still in the man, which was still dirt, which was still clay, but it was in a clay form. Okay? He didn't come to reality of being real and having flesh and blood and bone and everything. After God got through doing what all he wanted to do in creating and making Adam, then he said he breathed up himself into Adam. And man became a living soul. That's what everything that what he did became flesh and blood and bone and guts, organs. That's when you get to the head, the eyes, the nose, the ears, the mouth, the tongue, and everything else that what we have right now. That's how the creation came about. That's how God created Adam. I just wanted to throw that in there. Right. The likeness. Go ahead, son. You wanted to say something?
No, I just was saying right.
Okay. Now, Webster defined the word likeness as the state or quality of being like or similar to or resemblance, as the likeness of the one to the other, appearances or form, or that which is closely resembles or comparison to or in nature, a duplicate, equal to, pinpoint, a likeness, to bore to the original, or being in relationship to or conformity. So like I said, getting back to the image and the likeness part of what God was speaking of, always remember this is still spiritually. Now you have to always keep it spiritually because this is what God was doing because he's a spirit. So when he was doing all this, this is what he was doing it from out of the spirit realm and out of and from him.
Right.
Okay.
Shout out to my brother Vernon 85 in the building. What it do, man? Go ahead, Pop.
Bringing all these physical things and natural things and tangible things into manifestation. This is how he created, this is how he formed and made the body of man. That's why he called Adam, Adam. That's what Adam means, the first. Okay? That was the first creation of God's kind that he made of anything else out of all his other creation. And that's why he called him man, which is the first. Now I'll throw another little footnote in there. Adam was the first man of his kind, which was made from dirt. Dust. Okay? How many of y'all knew that Jesus Christ represents being the second Adam?
Say it again, Pops.
How many people know that Jesus Christ represented being the second Adam? You know the difference between the two? First of all, number one, the first Adam was made of dirt. The second Adam was made of the spirit. Because Christ was a spirit. Christ came from God. Adam came from the dirt, earthly. I'll let y'all chew on that for a minute and let it sink in for a bit.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
I'm gonna add some more to that, but I just wanted them to digest that first.
He was the first of his kind.
Yeah.
K-I-N-D. Kind. Y'all know. Now, yeah, go ahead, Pops.
I'm ready to throw another little nugget at you, at my people out there. Going back to Cain and Abel. Do you know that Abel was like the prototype for Christ?
Right. They don't know.
God, okay, and y'all, you follow me?
Talk to him.
That's why Abel never ever got as far as when Cain slew him. Abel was also a representation of still being a part of God's people, to be in the earth, to be able to have still legal rights and legal interests into the earth. Until Cain slew him.
Right.
God's second backup was Jesus Christ. That was the second Adam. No one never ever dwelled in the body of Abel because he was a spirit. That's why he never got as far as he did in God's plan when he brought him into existence. Okay.
Right.
Just like I said, Abel was not the son of Adam. Couldn't be.
Well, not Abel. Cain wasn't. Abel was, but Cain wasn't.
No, son. Abel was not the biological son of Adam. Seth was Adam's first biological son.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Talk about it.
When Pops tell you something, believe it, take it to the bank.
Oh, now go ahead. Drop jewels, Pops. I'm all ears.
That was the reason why Abel was born, or Abel also was a part of God's plan, because he was preparing that body for his second Adam, which would be Jesus Christ. After he formed that body and had that come into existence with the part of his plan, to continue on his other plan, which included the devil, he no longer needed to have Abel in a part of his plan. So that's why it was for Abel to leave now and to be no part of his plan, because he played his role. That's why he was killed by Cain, to continue to carry out and unfold the rest of God's plan. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Okay. Not trying to confuse nobody.
No. So let me ask you this then. Pops.
Uh-huh.
All right. So to my over and understanding, Cain, is he not the seed of Satan?
Yep, he is. He is.
Okay, so with that being said, wouldn't that make hold on, okay, so wouldn't that make Abel Adam's son then?
All right, I'm going to drop something on y'all. Hope you can deal with it, son.
Mm-hmm.
Out there in YouTube land.
Right.
Yes, it took Adam to be able to help bring Abel into the earth through Eve, which is the mother of all life. Right? But remember now what God told the serpent, that he would put an entity between thy seed and thy woman's seed.
Right.
Okay. So Abel was born through Eve, but the seed of Abel was not from Adam. It was from God.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Talk to him.
Okay, see, that's how that happened. That's the way that was. If you go to Genesis, later on in Genesis, when it speaks about when Adam first started multiplying and having his children by him biologically.
Right.
It named his first son biologically by him, and in his likeness was Seth. You didn't hear no more about Abel after Cain's doing.
Right.
Because God had that point in place and part for him to fulfill, and he did. So after that was no need of mentioning him no more. That's why he was no longer mentioned anymore about that. Okay.
So now hold on. Let me bring it back around now, Pastor. So that explains how the L.S.D was able to do what he was able to do now. Okay. So now walk with us for a second, y'all, right? You know what I'm saying? There's something known as heteropaternal superfecundation.
Right. We went over that before, son.
Yeah. Super. Listen, y'all. Heteropaternal superfecundation. Right. That is the ability for a woman to have a fertilized egg by two different men. You hear me? I remember I told you whenever the Most High has an origin, L.S.D got a copy of. And this is what the results of, and that explains it now. That explains why, you know what I'm saying, Most High allowed it to happen, because actually Abel wasn't. It was Seth that was the firstborn. And oh, damn, that makes sense now.
Some of y'all get it. Son, I know you will visually. I know you will, son.
Yeah.
That's why I said that Abel, he was a prototype for Jesus Christ.
Right.
On the road.
Right.
That's why, once again, I'll say that when it mentions about Adam's genealogy, and when it speaks about Adam's first biological son, his name was Seth.
So that means he was before Cain and Abel.
And God told you and let you know that it was of Adam, because he said, because it was of his likeness.
Right. Not his image. That's powerful. I told y'all, man, next level teaching over here, man. Spiritual Root Sundays with me and my pops, man. We be revealing stuff all the time, man. And you know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing, man. And that also lets you know that Adam wasn't the first or of his kind, but he was the first Adam.
Exactly.
You hear me? Understand the difference, man. He wasn't the first of his kind, K-I-N-E. He was the first of his kind, but he was the first Adam. So he was the first Adam. He was the first of his kind. So that's the spiritual transformation from Seth, right? That's powerful right there, Pops, man.
Yes, son.
And then we got Abel, who was the prototype for Yeshua, and then Yeshua was to come in. That's damn, man.
Now, why he relates to being like Adam or the second Adam, okay, is because that the first Adam was made out of flesh, and yet Christ still became a man, see?
Right.
That's why he's the second Adam, because he's man and spirit.
Right.
Adam was just all man and all physical and all natural.
Right.
But God breathed into him. Then Adam became a living soul. A living spirit. He said a living soul, because a spirit cannot die.
Right.
He told them, the day you shall surely die. What happened with Adam spiritually was, and the spiritual part of him was that separated him from God, from when he was in the Garden of Eden and walked in one with God, and before the fall took place.
Right. And that's where the LSD was able to come in, and that's where the hack happened, or the fall.
Right. Right.
This is where the genetic manipulation happened too, to where when we procreated by other means, now we have penises and vaginas and ovaries and testicles.
Right.
Y'all understand what y'all walking with us right now, man? You hear me? Right? God didn't design us to have sperm.
You know what, son?
We'll talk to him, Pops.
I'm gonna get to that, but see, you all you doing is just setting up.
Right.
For me to come right back.
We laying foundation, Pops. You know how we do it, Pops, man. We laying foundation right now, man.
Okay.
Hit that like button, y'all, man. Hit that, man. Listen, it's only like maybe 4 other people, man, I know on YouTube doing this level of teaching and breaking the scriptures down, man. Listen. Hit that like button, share on your social engineering, tell your pops to come in, your mom, your granny, you know what I'm saying, your uncle, your pastors, and all of them. Tell them come on in, tap in, walk with us, because we know they ain't teaching y'all this in these churches, man. I know they ain't. I know for a fact they not. You know what I'm saying? So y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Come on, tap in, walk with me and my pops as we do the Spiritual Roots Sundays here on April Talk Podcast. Tap in, walk with us. Go ahead, Pop.
Now, when you mentioned that about that, what God always referred to, what we call now sperm, he referred to it as a seed.
Right.
S-double-E-D.
Yes.
Everything. It's a seed. Right?
Right.
It's a seed.
That's a fact.
Everything has this seed. I'm ready to get to that right now.
Okay.
Add out a little bit more deeper for you.
Right.
Let me get my notes on you.
No, take your time, man.
I am.
Take your time, man. No rush, man. When this, you know what I'm saying? We this is straight game right here, man. It's that spiritual game for y'all, man. You hear me? We're gonna break these things down for y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that like button, man. Click on that subscribe bell, subscribe to the page, man. Share on your social engineering, your social media, man. Tell your granny, your auntie to come tap in, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all pastors and y'all bishops and stuff ain't teaching y'all this stuff, man. You did. Yeah, man. Next level, man.
Okay, here we go.
Let's go.
Footnotes. This is coming out of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15. All my scriptures I'm giving to you from the Old Testament, start from Genesis all the way through Romans, even go as far back as Leviticus and Deuteronomy.
Say it again so I can pull it up on the screen, Pops.
Leviticus, Deuteronomy.
No, you said the scripture you about to read out of. You said 1 Corinthians.
Be concerning and relating to the seed.
You said 1 Corinthians though, right?
Well, yeah, right. Okay, 1 Corinthians. It'll be talking about fall is the human body still. This is the main subject, and it has to do with all flesh and how all flesh is. What first of all, everything of its kind is from a seed. First of all.
So that's 1 Corinthians what?
1 Corinthians chapter 15. We'll go to verse 39.
39. I'm pulling it up right now.
It's related to God give it a body, and every seed his own. Okay? Everything has his own seed and his own self as a seed. All his creation, it all came in form of a seed. Everything he created. Seed is a very powerful word that God uses in his language, because that's how everything came about being when he created and made it. It all started out with a seed. That's why it's able to reduplicate and multiply itself of the same of what it is that the seed may be.
Right. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds.
Exactly. Okay.
Go ahead, break it down, Pops.
So that is saying that when God created, when he said, let there be fowl, birds, he never called them birds. He said, let there be fowls with wings that fly in the heavens.
Right.
He also said, let there be four-footed beasts on the earth. He didn't name specific animals. He didn't say cows and pigs and goats and sheep and even wild animals and everything. He never gave no one no name. Adam gave the names to him. God said, let it be what he wanted it to be, because it was in the seed of itself. And that is also the seed contained being and having a body. Because all his creation like that does have bodies. And the bodies is in the seed of itself of what it is. And whatever that it is, that's what it will reproduce and multiply back of itself again in the earth. We have seeds to plant in the ground for grains, wheat, oat. See, everything has a seed. Everything is from a seed. Deep.
Yeah.
Okay? Same way it is with celestial beings.
Right.
And terrestrial beings.
Right.
That this all ties in together. Remember I said a while back in my podcast that everything about God and his creation is like a huge million-piece puzzle. There's so many pieces of a puzzle, like in so many aspects of the creation of God, to where that you'll never be able to see the whole sum of it all until you get the whole picture and see it all in a bird's eye view. Okay?
Right.
And until you put all the pieces and connect them together, then only then will you be able to see the whole of what it is. And that's the way it is with God's creation. That's the only way you'll be able to understand the whole of God's creation. Is once you see the whole frame of it, the whole picture of it.
All right, we got somebody with a question in the audience about the Pops.
Go ahead.
He said, be fruitful and multiply means what then? That's what Ashley said.
Be fruitful and multiply. That's what he told Adam and Eve in the garden. That's what he told all his creation. That's what he told even the vegetation, the green, the trees, everything.
Right.
And you see, that's constantly to replenish the earth.
Right.
With the way God first created it from the beginning. If it never was to be able to multiply itself and replenish itself, then if four trees would grow, and if it didn't multiply itself, there would be no more trees.
Right.
There would be no more, nothing else of his creation. So that's why everything that what he spoke to be into existence to be, he also had a seed for it, and it was also for to replenish and remultiply and refulfill the earth. Constantly refill. That's why the earth would never run out of grass. Man cannot destroy the creation of God. Right. I don't care what he does to it. No matter how many forces is burned down from the act of man.
Right.
God, you just let it grow right back.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what that means when it says be fruitful and multiply. And fruitful is a positive, good word. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Same it is when you want a woman to have a healthy baby.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So basically.
It gives you the thought of being good.
Right.
Like when God did everything that what he made, and when he saw it, he said, and it was good.
Right. So, in other words, also being fruitful means be healthy in the way you reproduce. Follow, you know what I'm saying, the instructions of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And not eat of that fruit of that one tree though. You feel me?
Right.
But everything else you got access to. As long as you just keep it like that, everything gonna be all right, and you'll be able to multiply. You know what I'm saying? And like my pop said, I think this is what things people get misunderstood. Is he wasn't talking to just Adam, he's talking about everything. Not just Adam be fruitful, and not Adam and Eve be fruitful and multiply, but everything be fruitful and multiply. Because Adam and Eve was the culmination of God's creation, which was everything. Think about that, y'all. He created everything. The culmination of creating everything was what? Man, female, and male in his image. Or man in his image, but he created them. Man, y'all got to understand this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your higher thinking to be able to put this together. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Go ahead, Pop.
And also, adding on to that about being fruitful also gives the understanding of that when you do bear children, that you like you said, your body, the woman's body, even the man's body,
right,
be healthy.
Right.
To where that offspring won't come in being like the way our children are born today with all kinds of deformities. You know what I'm saying? Because of the things that the human and a woman or even a man put into their bodies.
Right.
It will affect the reproductive system. It will affect that offspring. It will affect that fruit, you know, to where that it won't come out the way that it's supposed to be. That's why I said be fruitful and multiply.
Right.
Don't let anything hinder it from being where it's supposed to be without any nicks or knacks or impurities, in it, That's why so many of our babies are born like they are born today.
Right.
See, they're being born fruitfully.
Yeah, right. My man, Uncle Diggity just said it perfectly. Be fruitful and multiply feels like a basic principle for nurturing something to health and maintaining it enough to spread it and then repeat process. Exactly. Beautiful. Me either. That's why I said beautifully said. This is the reason why we have these conversations, because we bounce off of each other, man, and it's a collective thought in the way that it was designed to be, not in this inverted, manipulated version. You hear what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can definitely apply that to most every walk of life, from vegetation to family, society, everything. And that's his right, Uncle Diggity, which is why we say when the Most High spoke these words, he wasn't just referring to Adam and Eve, he was referring to all of his creation. Be fruitful, multiply the trees, the dirt, even I'm talking about the water, the air, you know what I'm saying, the fowl, not the birds, the foul. See, I gotta understand how powerful words are, man. You hear me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And be fruitful and multiply. And think about when we talk about the inversion, the copy, the matrix. You think about when my pop said that be fruitful, multiply. You know what I'm saying? And when he spoke those words, and that means to be constantly changing, constantly growing, and constantly reproducing. You know what I'm saying? In a constant state of flux. You'll always hear me saying that we are in a constant state of flux, and that is the physics versions of what the Most High has in design. You hear me? A constant state of flux. Everything is changing. You know what I'm saying? Or reproducing, or reproducing itself. You know what I'm saying? This is where, if you think about this concept and how we think about it or know about it, it's always inverted. Think about the concept of the caduceus with the snake eating its tail. You understand what I'm saying? That's an inverted version of how we have been programmed to see the original design, which is supposed to be a beautiful, harmonic state of flux and change and growing and repeating in a holy way, so to speak. You hear me?
I can't hear you.
And that's why I be telling y'all got to understand this stuff, man. Y'all got to get this, man. It's complete inversion and manipulation going on. You know what I'm saying? Manipulators, manipulation. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Pops, man.
And a little bit more on with the seed, that's the same way and reason why that even with our food and vegetation,
right?
Because they're seeds too. And look what farmers are doing with them, you know, they're shooting them up with all kind of man-made stuff, you know, and then that's why they can understand why our crops with our food is also messed up, you know.
Hey, Pops, go ahead and talk for him. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick.
All right, see, and they can't understand why that the vegetation and, you know, and the food that we have in the shortage, that's what it meant by when God was talking, Jesus was talking about that it would be famines, okay? It's not so much because of man, that God not supplying enough food for his creation in the earth, but it's because what man is doing with it, with the seeds, and how he planting them, and how he's crossbreeding them, and germinating them, and mixing other seeds with other seeds. You see what I'm saying? That wasn't God's intention for man to do that. To crossbreed seeds, you know, to try to make something different than what it is. See, that's a part of what my son was saying about L.S.D. See, that's where he interjects himself into it, you know, to help make it harder for man in the earth. See, we have to remember everything that what the devil do is to get back at God, but it's also to destroy and tear down man. He comes but to kill, steal, and destroy. Walk up and down, to and fro in the earth, seeing whom he can devour and destroy and kill. And anything that's got to do with man, that man is connected in any kind of way, he's going to put his foot in it, or I say his tail, to mess it up, to distort it, to make it not be what God originally started for it to be in the beginning when he started out with his creation. He has his hands in everything about man and everything about God's creation. And God didn't intend for it to be that way. That's why he always still had man to have dominion over everything in and on and above the earth. So when the devil does what he do, it's because man allows for him to do that. Because man still has the power and dominion and the authority over not only the earth and everything in it, but also over the devil. So when he does what he do, it's because we allow him and we permit for him to do it. But it wasn't that way to be from the beginning.
Right.
So that's why there's no reason why not a human being nowhere on this earth should be starving to death of starvation from food. Lack of anything that has to do with what God put on this earth for man.
Right.
God's going to never make it be a shortage.
Right.
Why he told Adam, you're going to have to make the earth bring forth for you now.
Right.
For you to be able to survive and sustain yourself. Before it was already there, God laid out the first banquet table of that from the beginning when he created it back in the garden.
Right.
From all the trees and vegetation and everything. From the herbs to the spices to the seasonings to the food. Even got it to where he broke down even with the cattle and the different types of flesh that he says animals out that man eats.
Right.
That didn't have to be like that so in the beginning either, but because of the fall and the way everything else went after that,
right,
then it's what we come up with, what we have today. And it still all stems from the greediness and for the love of the money of all men, that's where the roots of evil stems from.
Right.
But everything that what man has that God made for man to survive and maintain on, man made what? A profit from it or out of it.
Right.
That's why Jesus says that for the love of money, it stems from the roots of all evil. A lot of people, they misquote that scripture. They say money is the root of all evil.
Right. No.
Of the scripture.
That's a lie from the deepest, darkest pit of hell. Listen, the love of money is the root of all evil. That's a different topic for a whole different show.
Yeah.
We might have to get into that next Sunday. You hear me, Pops?
Now, okay, right. Getting back to the body now still.
Right.
See, there are still different types of bodies. There's celestial bodies, then terrestrial bodies.
Right.
Celestial bodies are heavenly bodies. Okay? That means things that are in a higher plane on a higher level. People tell me there is a natural body and a spiritual body. The first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was a quickening spirit.
Say that again, Pops, man.
There's a natural body, then there's a spiritual body.
Right.
The first man, Adam, he was made a living soul, which was a natural body. Okay?
Right.
Man, dirt, clay. The second Adam, which I was telling you is Jesus Christ, representation of him,
Right.
he was made a living soul. Okay? Adam was. But Jesus Christ, he was made because he was a spirit in flesh.
Right.
Okay? Remember the word of God came in flesh?
Right.
These are the two different types of bodies, what I'm still referring to, from the natural body to the spiritual body.
Right.
And the first Adam didn't have a spiritual body.
Right.
He just had the spirit of Christ, of God in him, or what we call the breath. And then he became a living soul. It didn't say he became a living spirit. He said he became a living soul, still being just a man, flesh and blood and bones.
Now understand there is a difference between spirit and soul. They're not the same thing. Next level. Let's go, Pop.
But Christ, being the second Adam and the last Adam of his kind. Okay?
Talk to him.
He quickening spirit. Footnote. Terrestrial and celestial.
Yes.
Celestial and earthly. There are, okay, let me get my note. I don't like to confuse too.
No. Walk them down slow, Pops, man.
Which is considered celestial bodies. Those are considered heavenly bodies.
Right.
Okay. Like the sun, the moon,
right, stars.
Right. Now, I'm going to throw something else at you too.
Right.
All stars, they all are different from one another.
Right.
We look up in the sky and we see all kinds of different stars, and to us, they all look alike.
Right.
But they all are different in its own way.
Right.
They also are from a seed. S-E-E-D.
Hence the term star. Hence the term star seed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring that up for y'all on the screen because just in case y'all think I'm just making the word up or something. Y'all know what star seed is?
As I was saying, everything that God created from in the heavens down to the earth, he had given it in a form, a body as he pleased him, because it still all comes from a seed. Okay? And that's just the way that he chose to have it when he created and made his heavenly host of the stars, even the moon and the sun. Okay? It has its difference. God referred to it as one glory of another. Okay? The sun had one form of glory, the moon has one form of glory.
Right.
Stars, okay, they are all different from one another.
Yes.
See, but God giveth all his creation a body in a form one way or another as it had pleased him when he did it. Now, getting to the celestial bodies, terrestrial bodies are earthly, okay?
Right.
As I said before, they're earthly. Well, that's like our four-footed beasts, the birds in the air, the fowls, that which is in the oceans and the water, because it's all physical and it's all fleshly. Like I was saying here before, I said all flesh is not the same flesh.
Right.
but they all have terrestrial bodies.
All flesh is not the same flesh, but it's flesh nonetheless.
Exactly. And man is the only one that was created and had a spirit. All the rest of God's creation was not born or was made with a spirit. So there's not a spirit in animals. Animals don't have spirit. They have a soul,
Yes.
but they don't have a spirit.
So just think that in relationship to all these demon time cultural people and organizations and groups of people that do talk about animal spirits and my animal spirit and zodiac and all that, year of the rat and all that stuff, man. Shit is demon time.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is demon time, y'all, man. I'll tell you, whatever the Most High created in its original design, L.S.D got to have a manufactured, manipulated copy of, man. And that's where y'all get your zodiac and Chinese calendar and all that crazy year of the dragon and all that crazy stuff from. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, walk with us, man. Next level teaching, man. Hit that like button, man. Click on the like button, share on your social engineering, man. Tell your friends, tell your family, come tap in and walk with us, man. You need your spiritual fix. Come tap in with us at Spiritual Roots on Sundays on April Talk Podcast. Let's go. Talk to him, Pop.
And see, if the rest of creation has a spirit like most people believe and think that they do, then that means that man wasn't the only one made in the likeness and image of God. Because God is not a liar of his word.
Huh? Understand that, though. I know that might be difficult for a lot of y'all to get, right? Because y'all thinking, like my pop say, y'all thinking with y'all's carnal mind and this reality, y'all's physical mind versus your spiritual mind. Because if God created everything, but noted that he never said that he created the beast of the earth in his image. He never said he created the fowl of the earth in his image. He saw that they were good when he created them. He saw that they were good, but he didn't create them in his image or his likeness. Do y'all understand that paradigm right there? We're gonna get to the questions here in a second. Let my dad finish breaking this down, though. Go ahead, Pops.
It's mind-boggling, because just like I said before, when God made all his creation, when he made the birds of the fowl, he called them, like I said, he called them the fowl. He never called them the birds.
Never called them birds.
No individual animal, cow, monkey, zebra, lion, giraffe, and gorilla, he never called them by name. He just said beast. He named what it was then. There's beasts of one kind and beasts of another kind. Okay? He just spoke it and named it and said, when he said he already knew the way that it was supposed to be because it would be in its seed. And in its seed carried its own body of whatever it is that it was supposed to be when it multiplied and be fruitful in earth. And that's what it did. That's why we got the kind of life of animals of creation that we have now.
Right.
Right. Because the first two that he made, when he made them, he automatically made them first female and male. Man was the only one that was by himself. He was the only one that was something that was taken out of him to make his counterpart. All the rest of creation counterpart, God made separately and brought them together as in pairs of twos, male and female.
Right.
And when they came here, they all was full grown like they were. It was already, there wasn't no babies, wasn't no offsprings then. That's why Eve was the mother of all living. Because all life, far as human life, came from out of her.
Right.
And that was only male and females. Wasn't no male, female, and other.
Right.
Footnote. This is in the book of John, the Gospels, chapter 20, verse 17. This is after the crucifixion, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. That's why he was the second Adam. That's why that he was created, that he had the Spirit of God in him. The first Abel, okay? Abel. Okay, that was a spiritual, like I said, a prototype of the kind of body that Christ would have when he come down here. Even he still was in flesh, just like Abel was flesh, because he was conceived and born through Eve.
Right.
Same way Jesus was through Mary.
Right.
But he also was the last Adam. And that means that was the only type and the last type of man and spirit that God will create and make that has to do with man in the earth. So that's why it says he was the last of his kind being made like that. Okay. He wasn't the first of that kind, because it started with Abel. That was a prototype for God to see that he knows that, and then also for God to continue to be legally in the earth.
Right.
He progressed along with his creation and mankind, and in his creation in the earth. He always had a vessel for him to be able to be legally in the earth. Oh, glory, all that was deep.
Right.
Always. He was always legal in this earth.
Right.
Because God do not go against his own word. So when Jesus was crucified, buried, and he risen, his body then was celestial.
Right.
Heavenly.
Right.
Okay. It transformed so that when Mary saw him, she couldn't even recognize who he was.
Right.
That's how his body was so transformed celestial. Yet still physically and fleshly, because he still was the Son of God. His flesh changed so, but yet he still had flesh. But it was the spiritual part of him that manifested and glowed more than the natural part of him. That's why she couldn't recognize him. He had to let her know who he was.
Right.
That's the way our bodies will become. Okay. We have that same makeup in us, because we were made in the likeness and the image of God. Then when you go through that spiritual transformation, like Jesus spoke to Nicodemus,
right,
that a man got to be born again.
Born again.
He's speaking spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Nicodemus thought he was talking about physically. Once again, do a man have to enter up into his mother's
womb? Come on, man. Come on.
And that's human, it's natural thinking.
Now, let me just say something to speak on that real quick, Pops. My Pops just said that, man. Let me put y'all up on game about something when y'all reading that old word. You hear me? Whenever you are reading the Bible, right? If you happen to be a person who reads the Bible, whenever you see a word in italics, right? And if you're not familiar with italics is when you see a word and it's lightly slanted to the right a little bit, kind of thinner than what the normal print is. That's called italics. Whenever you see that in the Bible, that is a representation of what my pops just said of what a spiritual transformation. You hear me? Whenever you see a word in italics in the Bible, that is letting you know there's a spiritual transformation that just took place right there. All right? Now think about what my pops just was saying as far as the spiritual transformation. And what you just was saying, Pops?
Well, I'm reading someone here where they said...
talking about Nicodemus, right?
Huh?
You was talking about Nicodemus, right?
Yeah, Nicodemus, right. We went to Jesus, asking Jesus about being born again, and how did that come about when Jesus told him, that you had to be born again of the Spirit to even see the kingdom of heaven. He mentions again about the sight, the vision, the eyes. But he's talking about his spiritual eyes, his spiritual vision. And the only way that you can see anything spiritually or anything spiritually is that you have to be born again by the Spirit.
Right.
That's what Jesus also said in the scriptures, that if any other person comes into the spirit realm or trying to get saved with salvation, which that's what he was saying, and that he has to come through me. If he come any other way, he's like a thief and a robber.
Right.
That's what he meant by that when he said that. That's when you get all this occult and this astrology and Ouija board and all that. That's nothing but man trying to enter into and tap into the spirit realm, whether it's light or darkness.
CERN, anybody?
So when you come in that kind of way, you're like a thief and a robber. The only right legal way to come into the spirit realm is that you have to be born again of the Spirit of God, which is the Holy Spirit. And in order to even enter into it, you have to be born again. So those that who even enter into it illegally is still a thief and a robber. That's even when you're tapping into the spiritual realm of Satan. That's still illegally. Because you got to come through Jesus Christ to enter that realm, period. And he owns and controls and made and created both realms. Think about that.
So, according to what my pops just said, y'all, now think about it. All makes sense, right? And now it makes sense why they're trying to punch holes and create portals to different worlds. Don't that make sense? You know, this ain't the only world that there's rulers of darkness of, man. You hear me? It's different worlds, man, where with darkness, rulers of darkness in them worlds that we don't know about, and that's what they doing over there at CERN. They open up portals and shit, or making the ones that's already here more powerful or more easier to be, travel through, so to speak.
All right. Hey, son.
What's up?
I see where Ashley asked the questions, soul and spirit. She wants to know what's the difference between the soul and the spirit.
Go ahead, talk to her, Pops.
Right. Ashley, the soul is a part of you that both is connected to you spiritually and physically and naturally. Okay? It's almost like the go-between the flesh and the spirit.
Right.
You follow me? From your emotions to your feelings,
right,
to your thoughts,
mm-hmm.
to your beliefs, your feelings, everything, okay? It's almost like the battery is in a car, okay? There's many parts and many things that is in a car. But the main thing that what makes everything else be operable and works and it's connected with some kind of one way or another is the battery, okay? That's the way the soul is within a human body, okay? It's a go-between the flesh and the spirit, the natural and the spirit, okay? Because your soul is everything that what makes you work and function as being a human being in the natural, okay? Like I said, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. So a lot of times, whenever your soul is affected by something, also your spirit is affected by it too, you know. And your spirit and your soul, they interact with each other. You know, we refer to the hearts, and that was another thing that I was beginning to start giving some more different insights on too when I speak about the different parts of the body outwardly, like the head, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, the heart, okay? All your organs of your body, if you was to take them out like doctors do or coroners do, that's all it is, and what it remains is what it is when he take it out and put it on that table. Heart is heart. It's nothing but flesh, muscle, tissue. So where do your feelings come from? Where is that at? Your emotions, okay? When you hurt, when you cry, you know. When you take your heart out, all it does is show you the muscle that pumps the blood. People say, I hurt in my heart, you know, I love you in my heart. You don't see none of that, so where's that come from? That's a part of what I was saying, is that's the go between your heart, rather your soul and your spirit. See, so they interact with one another the same way that a car battery in a car.
Right. Now hold on for a second, Pops. Now when you're thinking about the spirit, the soul, and the physical body, right? You know what I'm saying? Mind, body, and soul. Freud, with his distorted, manipulated copy version of it, is the id, the ego, and the superego. Whose school had the wherewithal to teach y'all about this when y'all was in high school? Or did you learn about it in college? If you took psychology, you learned about the id, the ego, and the super ego, right? Everything the Most High has in its original design, L.S.D has a counterfeit of it. And this is what this is right here. Now, if y'all do your research into Freud, y'all know that he was into all type of demon time, experimenting on people's brains with little kids, and he was a pedophile and all that creepy stuff too. So, you know what I'm saying? I just bring all that stuff up just to show y'all, and always bringing a reference how anything the Most High creates, the LSD creates and has a manipulated version copy of. And our whole reality is a representation of that. Like I say, the fall of Adam, like my father refers to it, or I call it the hack. I'm speaking about it in computer terms, and the reason why I do that is because it's the unintelligent artificial intelligence that LSD is now manifesting through and assimilating, invading, and uploading this reality into a different version. You hear me? This is why you gotta get prepared and come to Spiritual Roots Sunday, so you can get put up on game about this stuff, so you can see the evolution of it, with my dad bringing you the old and me bringing you the new, and we bringing it together and paint a beautiful picture for y'all. So you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? So you can come up to your own conclusion about these things. Now keep in mind, we're not telling you that you have to believe us or believe anything we're saying. It's up to you. We just telling you the unadulterated truth. You did. So y'all do some research on the id, the ego, and the super ego in your spare time, man. Go ahead, Pops.
Okay, and back again, that's why God said that it all works in sync. That's why God said that if you will search for me with all your heart, with all your might, with all your soul, with all your mind, ye shall find me. Notice he mentioned the soul and your heart. See, your heart is a part of that, what connects you spiritually also to God too. Because you see, it says, see, whatsoever is in a man's heart, and what he believes in his heart, that's also what he is. You see? So the heart is more or less connected, more in sync with the spirit part of who you are, than it is with the soul part of you.
Right.
But you search for him with the whole total sum of what you are and what's in you, then that's totally connect you to the whole totality of who God is as a spirit. And you'll make that connection. That's why he said that you'll find me. Right. You know, you can't do it, and you can't half step with it. You know, same way it is me being a chef. You know, if I want to make a particular dish or something, I have to have all the ingredients for it to be a completed dish.
Yes, sir.
And that's the way it is with seeking God and wanting to know God. And he puts all those things in you so you will be able to find him and seek him, and that it'll work for you. That's why I was saying that everything that he put in you, it has its place and its purpose and its function.
Right.
And it would work, you know, and it operates in sync with all the other parts of you. I hope that kind of cleared up and answered you a little bit actually about the question that you just asked me about the soul and the spirit.
Right. She said, thanks for explaining that.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Get some clarity.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, y'all, man. Subscribe to the page, man. Click on the subscribing bell and all of that. Share on your social engineering, your social media and all of that. You know what I'm talking about? Spiritual Roots Sundays over here on Able Talk Podcast. We got Virgil Berry, Senior, my pops in the building. We got me, Virgil Berry, aka Stats with the Facts, in the building. We breaking these things down for y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Thank y'all for coming out. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate y'all being in the building. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Pops, man. You got the floor.
All right. The last part of our message pertaining to the human body is the gender of male and female.
Right.
Okay. And I'm coming out of Leviticus where all this transgender and the different sexual orientation of the male and females and all that, what this is, the way that L.S.D done infiltrated and injected into our society and into the human race, as God refers to these as sexual sins. See, there's all kinds of sins.
Right.
There's only one sin, and out of that one sin, all these other sins now that man has in his life and his livelihood and the way that it is with him now is because of the first sin, disobedience. One sin, singular. From that come many more sins now. That's why it has the S on it, means plural. And this, even including sexual sins, is all a part of what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. And it even goes back even farther than that. Because in Leviticus and everything that I'm speaking of about this, you can get it, look at it in your Old Testament, in Leviticus, Deuteronomy, even clear up until Corinthians and Romans, that Paul speaks about it. But I'm going to give you a little bit of what I wrote down here to give you just an idea of it.
Right.
Sexual sins, including transgenders, okay, were among the most hideous practices of the people living in Canaan, C-A-A-N. Canaan actually was a land in which were Cain, C-A-I-N, Cain, from the Garden of Eden.
Right.
So, the seed of Satan, all right, that was born. He also came through the birth because Eve was the mother of all living. So she bare him, but it was the seed of Satan. Okay. When they all went their separate ways, when God brought about the Tower of Babel, and Cain, he went his own way, and he landed in the land of Canaan, start multiplying and being fruitful. And this is where all these sexual sins come from him, from his descendants, from his offspring, that he multiplied and replenished in the earth. This is scriptural. You want to know more about this? Y'all can go to Leviticus chapter 18, verses 22 to 30. It'll bring all this out. What I'm saying to you right now, this is where I got it from. So if you go to it and read it like I'm reading it to you and gave you the scripture, you'll see the same thing what I'm reading to you. So you will know this is how sexual sins came about being in our world today. Okay. We're among the most hideous practice of the people living in Canaan. The lessons of their judgment because of deviant sexual practices remain as ominous warning signs to us today that they digressed from what is clearly shown in creation and in God's word, that we are born as either male or female, and that our God-given human sexuality is divinity. Divinity, not divinity, but divinity. That means with divine, sanction, and most beautifully expressed as complementary man and woman. God has not left us without his word, and thus his will concerning sexuality. All right. Firstly, humankind is binary. There is no third or fourth category of a human being. Nature, okay, attests to what scripture reveals. Human beings are made in God's image and created either male or female. Period. You can look and read this up in Romans chapter 1, or chapter in Romans chapter 1, 18 through 22. You can also look this up. It speaks about this in 1 Kings 14 and 24. Okay. Male prostitutes were marked out by God, was marked out by God as those who wickedness brought judgment. They had male prostitutes back then in the biblical days. Okay, all this is still coming through Cain, from the land of Canaan. Okay, that's where all immoral sexuality acts come from, and sins. If you want to look that up more for yourself, like I said, I just gave you the scriptures that you can if you want to. But when God created Adam and Eve, and when he made man, there was only one male and one female. And when he made it and had it to where that you either come out either a male or a female. You're not born to think that you were supposed to be the opposite of what sex that you are when you was born. That's a bunch of bull crap. God is very well against homosexuality. He mentions it a lot of places, even in the Old Testament, even before it got to where that the destroying of Sodom and Gomorrah came about. That they were practicing that then. That all started as soon as Cain got loose and started filling and multiplying the earth. Remember, he's the seed of Satan. Immorality is a part of his nature. And he knew that once he was able to get him in, like my son and I was talking about a long time ago or farther back, about the reptilian concept of man. See, that's when that started manifesting again in man, because that part of that nature was in us still, and it still is in us. And we have the choice to either practice it or not.
Right. Now, just to expound on what my pops is talking about, you hear me? This is something y'all hear me talk about a lot. You feel me? And like I say, everything that the Most High has in his original design, L.S.D has a counterfeit for, a manipulated copy, distorted, right? And y'all all may have seen this image before, right? But then y'all look at this image. This is the image basically emulating everything my pastors was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And think about these words right here. Solve coagula. Right? Solve coagula. You gotta understand what solve coagula means. You feel me? It's a Latin word. Basically, it means the destruction. Basically, roughly translated, means the destruction of God's original design.
Exactly.
Basically, that's what it means. Coagula is coagulation. Solve means to dissolve or to get rid of or destroy, right? And when you think about coagula or coagulation, you know what I'm saying? Coagulation is what happens in the blood when it becomes thick, right? Kind of like how when the oil becomes very viscous in your car when it needs to be changed. But you got to understand, see, we weren't designed to have blood. They ain't ready for this type of man. Pops, they ain't ready.
Well, say the truth and set you free.
They ain't ready for this type of teaching, Pops, man.
Set you free.
They ain't ready for this type of teaching, man. You know what I'm saying? So think about that, though. You know what I'm saying? The blood is a result of the fall or the hack.
Exactly.
You hear me? Because remember, the Most High is a spirit and created us in his image and likeness. So that means when we were created in his image and likeness, when my dad said the second Adam, which was Yeshua, he was a spirit. He wasn't made from the dust of the earth.
Hey, son.
Huh?
You said what you just said just now. This is the spiritual revelation that was just given to me by my Holy Spirit to confirm and back you up what you just said.
Right.
That's why that when Jesus and his disciples was in the upper room at the Lord's Supper, when he took the wine and the bread,
right,
and it symbolically representing what? His bread will represent his body, and the wine represented his what?
Right.
What did the wine represent?
His blood.
Hello.
Right.
His blood.
Right.
I said that to say, to confirm and give confirmation to what you were saying, that the blood now that we have in us is tainted and defiled blood. That's why he told his disciples to drink of the wine that he had, and it represented his blood, because his blood was pure, holy, clean, clear, righteous.
Right.
But we only experience that in our blood and in our bodies when we are born again and baptized and filled with the Holy Spirit.
Right. Spiritual transformation.
What was saying about when you mentioned about the blood, okay? But I just wanted to let them out there know that the reason why that, like I said, me and my son came up with this, because I just felt it's very important for us to start knowing more about who we are, like I always say, and who you are on a one-to-one person with you, yourself, and God, and let you know what is going on with you and with your body and everything about you, because everything has its spiritual roots and foundation first. And I truly believe in my heart that once you learn and get educated and have your eyes open and your spirit enlightened to what is really going on, then you will begin to start being able to help you get your life where you want it to be, and know more of you, about you and your life and your purpose and the reason why you are here, you know, and for what purpose you have to be here, you know. You have a lot of us have an idea of what, but because of what is going on in the earth and the devil doing what he's supposed to do is to keep you in darkness. You see what I'm saying? To keep you from not knowing what is really going on, you know. And in any kind of way that he thinks he can stop you, that's what he's going to do. See, but God says, no, it's not meant that way. See, God wants you to know, you know. You need to know. That's the only way you're going to be set free, you know. You're a part of his creation. And he said he would lose none of his creation. And that Jesus came into the world because God loved the world so that he gave his son. And everyone should have the opportunity to get back into the kingdom of God and know who they are, you know, because it's us who's going to help one another to clean up the rest of this world. You know, that's why he said, go out into all four corners of the world and preach the gospel. The gospel is the good news. Wow. And the good news is the kingdom of God has come down here to you. Yeah. And it can be in you. Once you do what you're supposed to do in receiving salvation. Right. You can't escape that. No man on earth can escape that. You reject salvation, but you can never say it was not offered to you to have. Right. Can't no one stop you from receiving it or getting it or hearing about it. Right. So if you don't make it in, back into the kingdom from which where we come from, it's nobody's fault but your own.
Accountability. Accountability.
Right. But we ain't going to be able to stand before God come judgment day and say, well, Lord, I never knew about it, or Lord, didn't nobody tell me. You can't act and play dumb with him about it.
Ignorance is not an excuse for, you know, it's not going to prevent, you know, punishment or whatever the situation may be.
And I truly believe that a lot of us is getting closer to that.
Right.
Because the change is being broken off and the darkness is being replaced by light, and lies and deception is being placed with the truth. And once you see it and receive it, then you're on your way to being who and what you're supposed to be in God, and the reason and the purpose why he put you in this earth. And that's a part of what I'm supposed to be doing. And not, like I always say, it never just helps you, it also helps me.
Right.
It helps one another. And then that's how we become strong in strength and in numbers. And that's how we defeat and tear down the workings of the devil. See, because he don't want you to know that, because every time you get more and more closer to knowing who and what you are and into the light of the revelation of who and what you are spiritually, the more you become a threat to him in this world. And you literally snatch souls from being able to be destroyed by him and kept in darkness.
Right. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? And just to remind y'all, man, that Solve Coagula is tattooed on the wrist of J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter series. Just to get some connection and some more foundation for y'all to how deep this agenda goes, man. You hear me? Just dissolving of the Most High's original design and creation, man. You hear me? You did. So yeah, man, we straight like that. Anything else, Pops, man? Is that it for the evening?
Yeah, I just wanted to let them know out there that I always enjoy sharing what I know with y'all, because I hope and believe by faith that it will do some good. It does some good. And just looking forward for many more of these to come, and knowing that you will grow spiritually. You will grow in knowing more who you are about yourself. You begin to start being more aware of your surroundings and the things that are going on in the earth and in the world and with the system of man. You're starting to see more and more spiritual things manifesting itself, because everything is going and coming back full circle from which way it all started from, and that was the spirit realm. And you'll start being more aware of the spiritual wicked activity that is going on in the earth now. You know, more, just everything you'll be more aware of now, because the more me and my son come to you sharing these things with you, the more you will become aware of. You'll start seeing things that you never saw before. You'll start learning things that you never learned before, because you'll start getting hungry to know the truth and to really know what is really going on in this earth, spiritually and physically, even about God. You know, you don't have to question God. Ask questions of God. Okay? Don't question God. Ask him questions.
Understand the difference. Understand the difference. This is why I tell y'all to study etymology and language. Understand the difference between questioning of and not questioning to. You hear me? Big difference, man. Go ahead, Pops.
Man is so quick to say, why do God allow this? Why do God allow that?
Right.
For you to say something like that, that shows me that you don't know God.
Right.
Also shows me that you don't make no attempt to try to know God. Because if you did, then God will let you know what you want to ask him, okay? There's proper protocol that you have to make to connect with God. Because you know that he's out there. You don't even have to believe that he's real, but you believe that he's out there. That still doesn't give you the right to demand anything to know about him or why everything like it is. And I take you to the book of Job to back up what I just said. That when Job went through what he went through, and Job thought he did something wrong to a degree to where all that came upon him. See, Job didn't know that God was allowing for Lucifer to attack him like that and done all that to him, what he did, taking his family, his wife, his livelihood, his stock, his maidens, his servants, everything. Job never knew why that was happening to him.
Right.
He didn't question God. He wanted to in the flesh part of him, but because of the spiritual part of him and the love that he had for God and the faith he had in God, he never questioned that.
Right.
Until it got to that point to where that he is in the natural, in his flesh, and in his natural mind of thinking, he couldn't take it no more.
Right.
Then that's when he began to start asking God certain things. And by the way that he was asking God certain things, God knew what he was really getting at and what he was really trying to say to God. But in so much fear and respect for God, he didn't know how to approach God in that manner. But God knows the heart of every man. So before he had to be able to come to God and really ask him what he wanted to ask God, God came to him. Because he knew what he was thinking, what he wanted to know. And God said, well, first of all, stand on your feet as a man. And you answer unto me now. I want you to tell me, where was you when I made the stars, when I made the snowflakes, when I made the Leviathan, when I made the whales, the seas, the oceans? Where was you at when I did all that? Job couldn't answer him. So I said that to say, so a lot of times we want to know a lot of things about why it is like it is. And we so quick to label that it was God that did it and where it came from. And then that's not also true all the time. Because the devil, he does his thing. It says that he walked to and fro up and down in the earth, seeking who shall devour. Satan has no control over the elements.
Right.
The time that if he allowed to do that is when God gave him permission to.
Right.
And sometimes God allowed the devil to do that just because of the wickedness and the sin of man that is running rampant in the earth.
Right, right. Now notice what my pops just said, man. No control over the elements, but understand when my dad says the prince of the air, and I gotta break it down more, the prince of the power, not the prince of the air itself. He's the prince of the power of the air, though. Understand the difference between the two, because it's not the same thing, right? I just wanted to throw that in there to bring, you know what I'm saying, some more clarity on what my pops was talking about when he was saying he doesn't have power over the elements.
And another footnote about Job, I throw another little nugget out there, is that when Job went through what he went through in the book of Job, first of all, he was a very uprighteous man. Of all the men in the earth at that time, there was none like him, God said. And Job was flesh and blood then, just like you and I are today. But because of his commitment to God and because how much he loved God, that when the sons of God in the day would come before God, and Lucifer, the Satan, the devil, also came among them with them. I know that's hard to grab, but this is biblical. It's in the scriptures. You can read it. It's in the book of Job. God brings to Satan's attention, have you observed my servant Job? There is none other like him in the earth. He is righteous and upright before me, and he endureth evil. The word endureth, E-N-C-H-E-W-E-D, means he couldn't stand sin. It was almost like oil and water. It could never mix or stick to him. The man prayed every single day for every member of his family, for every member of his household, even his animals he prayed for. Constantly, day in and day out. Just in case if any of them ever sinned against God, that Job automatically had them covered, pleading them to God, asking God to have mercy on them and to forgive them. Then God asked Satan, bring it to Satan, to say, have thou observed my servant Job? Ain't that something? That God can speak to the devil about you, a man in the earth? And he was that proud of him? Satan gonna tell him, well, yeah, the only reason why he like you is because you got your hands around him and I can't get next to him. Satan couldn't touch Job. Not because so much God had his hands around him, but because of the uprightness and the way Job was with God and the relationship that Job had with him, that he hated evil so much that it was almost like a repellent against him. And Satan couldn't tag him. He couldn't touch him. That's why he told God, yeah, remove your hand from him and let me be able to get at him. God said, okay. So let it be. You can do any and everything you want to him. You just can't take his life.
We got my man Chris Norwood in the building. Shout out to Chris Norwood. Hit that like button, y'all, man. Next level teaching over here, man.
That's why if you ever read in the book of Job, you'll see where all the things that he lost. He lost his family, his children, his animals, his servants, his handmaidens, his household servants and everything. He lost everything. Job still did not crack up or bow down or curse God, as it says. He still didn't blame God. He still never cursed God. So Satan, he was defeated. He couldn't do anything. Out of all that, he still couldn't get Job to bow down or to Job to break down.
Right.
So another time came where the servants of God also came in the presence of God. And here comes Satan again.
Right.
The second time. God repeats and said the same thing to him again. Have you observed my servant Job? Then he went on to the second stage when he was saying about, well, okay, the only reason why now that he keep doing what he's doing to you, because I can't touch his body or I can't touch his flesh. What a man won't do to protect his flesh. You know, that's the most important thing to a man is his flesh. Let me get at that, and I bet I can make him break down and curse you to your face. That's what Satan told God. People, this is real what I'm saying to you. This is scriptural. Go to the book of Job. If I'm lying, get a hold of me and tell me that I am. God said, okay, I'm going to tell you how much faith I got in my servant Job. I'm going to remove my hands from him where you can't touch his body. Only thing you can't do is take his life. Shoot your best shot at him. And that's what Satan did. You know what he smoked Job with? If anybody know what it was? Boils.
Boils.
His body was boiled from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. And that's up under his feet. To the top on and in his head. Boils. Not boils that started out like little pimples, but boils that like was in his first, second, or third stage of being born. I don't know if anybody ever had a boil on their body, but believe me, it ain't nothing you want. I experienced one as a teenager, and it ain't nothing you ever want to experience. Can you imagine your whole body being smitted like that with boils to where they was already pus and stuff coming out of it, and they were so sore and miserable that his body was wretched in pain. Hidden so hard and covered his body so much, people, that you couldn't even recognize it. His own friends, his 3 friends, could not recognize it. And it bothered him, and it was on him so tough that the only relief that he could get from that was sitting in ashes, hot ashes. Because that would help him come to a head and relieve some of the pain and pressure that it was doing to him, being all over his body.
Right.
Then his friends supposed to been coming to comfort him, and all they did was just ridicule him and kept trying to find out, well, Job, what is it that you done to where God would do this to you? You had to do something. His wife even told him, why don't you just curse God and die? If only you speak as a fool. Should I just take the bad things, the good things of God, and be happy with it and not say anything? Should I also take the worst of God and also feel the same way? But it wasn't God that did that to him. He even thought God did that to him. But I said all that to say, people, when you're going through what you're going through, and remember, the devil is always trying to attack you to get you from not want to see or come or recognize or even want to know who God is. So a lot of distractions that come into your life, start checking where's it really coming from.
Right.
Really in your heart to really seek and want to know God. And I'll leave on that note. May God continue to bless all you out there in YouTube land. Continue to pray for me and my son, and we will pray for you and yours.
You already know, man.
And I'll have something even more greater next week. If you have any requests of any particular topics that you might want to talk about or want to know more of, let my son know, and he'll get with me, and that's what we'll work on for that following Sunday. Because it's just not just me and him only, but it's all of us. So if there's things that you want to know or topics you want to talk about and get a more understanding and in-depthness of, relate it to my son and he'll get it to me, and then that would be the next thing that we can talk about. I want to hear from you as well as that you hear from me too, because I learn from y'all.
Right. Each one teach one. You did.
All right, son, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, man. You getting off the phone?
Yeah, I'm still here listening, but you know, you can wrap it up.
Yeah, you already know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like my pop said, man. You know what I mean? You know, this stuff goes deep, man, but you don't have to have a deep mind to get it, man. You was blessed with the mind to already over and out understand all of this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta remember, you know what I mean? And this is what I be saying, man. You know, these so-called churches out here ain't teaching this stuff, man. They ain't breaking it down like this, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's because they have been infiltrated. You did. And that's why you got guys like me and my pops here to break this stuff down for y'all. Hit that like button, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, click on the bell and all of that. Share on your social engineer, man, your social platform, your social media. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tap in, man. Share tell everybody come tap in with us. You know what I'm saying? Open up your questions or whatever you got. Hit me up on that email in there. You know what I'm saying? And tap in with us, man. We're gonna be breaking stuff down, you know what I mean? And it's important that, you know what I'm saying, we know the spiritual roots of things. Because like I said, man, in this reality that we living in and experience, man, you know what I'm saying? It's not just physical, mental, and emotional, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the spiritual aspect to it as well. You know what I mean? Every day go by, we start to see that. You know what I'm saying? All the spooky stuff going on. You know what I mean? And you got to have some type of education, some type of knowledge on it. You know what I mean? And it's sad that there's supposed to be institutions or places in place, but they have been, like I said, infiltrated. You know what I'm saying? By the very thing we talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you're not going to be able to go to some of these churches and get this level of explanation. You know what I'm saying? This level of, you know what I'm saying, breaking things down on the spiritual level. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, due to the invaded, manipulated state of the current church, you know, you're going to get a distorted version, which is why we see all this mess going around with all this witchcraft and demon talk stuff you're seeing being promoted not only through the established religions and all, but you're seeing it in mainstream media. You're seeing it everywhere now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it's important to be able to have a proper spiritual, you know what I'm saying, fortification and information education so you can know what you're going up against out here, man, because you might be thinking you're doing something that's spiritually enlightening when really it's not, like how most things are. And I'm pretty sure my dad can agree with me on that.
Yeah.
Most of the things that we experience in this reality, we've been led to think that are somehow going to a tool that we can use to help us in our path to spiritual enlightenment, and it absolutely is not. You know, example, yoga.
Yeah.
Praying to your ancestors. Just to name a couple. You know. So yeah, y'all, man, y'all know how we do it over here, man. We going in every Sunday, man. I got my posse. Posse, you want to say anything in closing, man, before I hang up on the phone with you, man?
Yeah, I just like this. Just like I said, you know, give a shout out to my YouTube family, you know, and I hope that was some encouragement and some revelation and insight to maybe things that you might have always wanted to know about, or just give you more understanding of what it is about us and our Creator and who we are as being a people's, a person, a human being, and basically for you getting into who you really are and getting in tune with yourself through God and not through any other resources or any other portal or entity, you know. but the right, true way, so you'll truly know the real who you are, and hope that it'll help set you free and give you more understanding of what's going on in our world today, and more understanding who you are yourself as a person and an individual. And my love go out to you for the rest of this week. You have a blessed week. And may God continue to just pour his blessings upon you and give you insight, give you vision and revelation of not only who you are, but also who he is. Everyone have a good, blessed evening.
All right, Pops. I'll holler at you, man. I love you, man.
Love you too.
All right. Yeah, you already know, man, how me and my pops do it every Sunday over here at A Real Talk Podcast. Thank y'all for tapping in, man. Spiritual Roots Sunday, man. We go chop it up every Sunday. We're going to get it in, break some things down, bring some clarity. You hear me? Yeah, man, we gonna sit up here every Sunday and break things down to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make some, like I said, bring some clarity. Hit that like button, share, and all of that stuff. Subscribe to the page, click on the bell, and this is what we're gonna do every Sunday, man. Me and my pops, we're gonna break down these spiritual roots to aspects of our reality that we have been manipulating and thinking into something that it actually isn't in its original essence. You hear me? And now don't get this twisted, man. You hear me? Me and my pops, man, we ain't no angels or nothing like that. Very flawed guys, man. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, you hear me? You know what I'm saying? It's only right that we share this information and knowledge with y'all and break it down for y'all, man. And then you make up the proper decision for yourself, what you get from it, and come to the proper conclusion for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Let's think about it like that. You know what I mean? Think about it like that. Appreciate everybody coming out, man. Like I said, y'all could be anywhere in the world. Y'all right here with the kid. I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to everybody for coming out. Did you learn something this evening? Oh, you already know, Chris Norwood. Good looking out, brethren. Hit that like button, y'all. Y'all hit that like button right now, everybody. Everybody hit that like button. You know what I'm talking about? Appreciate all y'all coming out tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it, man. I respect y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming out and spending some time out of y'all's busy life schedule and day to chop it up with me and my pops, man. You hear me? It's an honor and a privilege to be able to do this for y'all, with y'all. You understand me? It's an honor and a privilege to be able to sit up here and break down these things, these concepts for y'all, man, so y'all can have a better over inner outer understanding for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And maybe get a closer connection to the source on your own terms, you know what I'm saying? But we'll, you know, what you will end up finding is, you know what I'm saying, infinite awareness or the most high's terms. You hear me? You know what I mean? Do some research in the etymology, man. You already know, Uncle Diggity, man. You already know, Brett Dryden. Every Sunday, we right here on A Real Talk Podcast, y'all. Spiritual Roots Sundays, man. We going in, man. Diverse content. Shout out to my brother, Red Supreme TV1. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow night on the show, we definitely going to be going in on this Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears situation. You know what I'm saying? You already know I'm going to come from an aspect that ain't nobody going to come from. You hear me? And we're going to get into it because, like I say, they coming for our kids. At the end of the day, that's what the main goal is. That's what the main agenda is they coming for them. And we can't allow them. You know what I'm saying? And this connects kind of what we're talking in tonight, for real, too. If y'all think about it, this kind of connects in what we're talking about tonight. You did? Think about it, man. You hear me? Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Think about that, though, man. Everything in our reality, right? Stuff I've been talking about for years, man. You hear me? It's actually a manipulated, inverted version of the actual original design. You hear me? Got to, Chris Norwood, my brethren. I have to, y'all, because that's the only way y'all going to have a clear over, inner, outer, extra standing. That's the only way that you're going to be able to take this information, man, right? And be able to process it in the way that, the Most High intended for you to process it, man. The best way I can describe it. Got to break it down to the molecule, to the atoms, to the nitty gritty, to the very last compound, to the structure. You have to. You feel me? And y'all got to understand that there's levels to this stuff. Over, inner, outer, extra standing, there's levels. You hear me? There's levels to this stuff, man. You know what I mean? It definitely is needed, Chris Norwood, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? Like I say, when I came home, man, I went to these churches and I was noticing, man, I'm like, man, sad to say, man, most of y'all churches have become the synagogue of Satan, man. Sorry. Yeah, y'all say what's up to each other, man. Shouts out to everybody. We got my baby Cupcake in the building. We got Ashley in the building. You know what I'm saying? Got my baby Ashley in the building. Got Uncle Dig in the building. Chris Norwood in the building. Yitty. You know what I'm talking about? Lance Parker in the building. Everybody came through. Came that why. You know what I'm talking about? And everybody else out in the clouds, just watching in the clouds, soaking up. You feel me? It's only a few people that I've seen myself personally breaking down the scrippies, man, the scriptures, man. I don't see too many people doing it. Especially for this aspect, I don't see too many people doing it, man. Right? And it's imperative at this point in time where we're at right now anyway, man. It's definitely imperative for you to be as spiritually inclined as you most possibly can be. You hear me? You want to have as much spiritual knowledge as you possibly can. You hear me? And you want to be as spiritually armed. You feel me? You did. You want to make sure that you're spiritually fortified. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? That's why I said in the song, I said, keep my energy is up because the devil's deceitful. You feel me? You got to keep your energy up, man. You hear me? Because they're going to be coming for you, man. Especially when you get to sinking and linking back to this real stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all meet and greet each other, man. This is my brethren up in here, man. Everybody seeking this young talking about, man. Real ones coming up in here, man, on a Sunday evening. We gonna chop it up. You know what I'm saying? Break down these spiritual roots, you know what I'm talking about? You feel me? Ain't too many people, you know what I'm saying, I can say is doing this on YouTube. I can name a few on one hand. You did. And it's very, like I said, it's very important. It's very imperative. It's very imperative, you know, to make sure you inform yourself on things of this nature as much as possible, especially coming in now, because, you know, everybody's being led to, you know, being so many different belief systems and, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, make sure you spell that God, capital G, capital O, capital D, though, my brother Chris Norwood. You feel me? Y'all make sure y'all do that, man. Whenever you refer to the Most High, man, all capital letters. That's why I write in all capitals. And on another level, if you understand why capitals are used, and it's used in business and commerce as well. And that's inversion. That's inversion right there. Because G-O-D in all capital letters, the Most High ain't got nothing to do with finances. And I say that because if you notice, if you pay attention to anything that has to do with money, transaction of money, exchanging of money on here, on a check, a receipt, on money or whatever, is whenever you have to pay some money or anything, they're dealing with you written in all capitals. Look on your ID. Any check you get, stuff from your job, anything got to do with the exchange of money, your name is going to be in all capitals. That's another topic for another show. There you go, my brother Chris Norwood. There you go. Capital G, capital O, capital D. Anything other than that, you're referring to demons, man. I want y'all to know that, how powerful the difference is. You did. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the page and all of that, man. You know what I'm talking about? Click on that old subscribing bell, man. Share it on your Facebook and your Instagram and your Twitter and your Snapchat and your TikTok and all of that, man. You hear me? Spiritual Roots Sundays over here at a Real Talk Podcast. You did. With y'all guy, Virgil Berry, a.k.a. Stacks with the Facts, man. You understand? Appreciate y'all coming out, vibing with the kid, you know, with the guy, man, building, having this nice build session with me and my pops. Hopefully y'all learned something tonight, man. You feel me? I said, did you learn something tonight? If you learned something new tonight, put a 1 in the chat. You know, I try to keep things diversified. I just try to stay out thinking the unintelligent artificial intelligence. You know, I'm not bragging or boasting or nothing like that, man, because I ain't no better or worse than anybody, but the type of stuff that I'll be talking about, man, that they ain't trying to have nobody hear that stuff, man. And like I said, tomorrow night, man, we going in. You know what I'm saying? We're going in tomorrow night. We're going to be discussing this Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish situation. We're going to dissect it from so many aspects and avenues and vantage points that we're going to get a full over, inner, outer understanding of what's being conveyed through this information being made so public in the way that it has since we found out about it. It's very invasive, very aggressive, almost as if Tiffany and Aries either did something they wasn't supposed to do or didn't do something they were supposed to do. All of a sudden now, this footage looks old. This footage looks like it came from about a good 10 or more years ago, I dare say. Now, I'm not an expert in such things, but I do have some knowledge, and I'm telling y'all that film was from about a good 10 to 12 years ago. Give or take. Right? Maybe less. Right? I can't really say Aries Spear has had a meteoric career because he really hasn't. Right? That's a possibility. You know, but I would say that Aries, I consider him to be like a B-list actor, comedic actor. You know, he ain't really played in too many movies. You know, he played in a couple TV shows in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? He did Def Comedy Jam. You know what I'm saying? He's been successful on his own as an independent comedian, touring and all of that. But, you know, Don't ever forget that Aries Spears used to dress up like a woman on Mad TV. Right. So you have to ask yourself, when so many other black comedic actors and comedians have put on the garb of a woman to propel their career into the stratosphere, like so many we know have, I wonder what happened with Aries when he did it and it didn't work for him. That's a question I would like to ask him if I was ever to interview Aries. I would love to ask him that question. Oh, must y'all forget? Must I remind y'all? Huh? Let's go on to the old Googler. Let's go to the Googler. Y'all don't remember when Aries Spears used to dress like a woman on Mad TV? Y'all remember that? We ain't trying to watch the whole video, though. We ain't trying to do all that. We ain't trying to do all that. We just want to see an image. That's it. Here we go. No, we want to see an image. Yeah, here we go right here. No, let's keep showing all these YouTube images, man. This nigga Aries Spears used to be dressing up like a bride. Talking all that shit. And we wonder why he be so salty, because he done dressed up like the bride, right? And it ain't really, he ain't really even capitalized off of it for real. They're all on BT too. On some straight homo shit. Like, hold on, I'm about to get the image for y'all. Y'all remember that though? Y'all remember when Aries Spears used to dress up like a broad on Mad TV back in the day? I'm trying to find an image, but all I'm seeing is videos. They ain't showing me no still images. Don't ever forget that this guy, Aries Spears, dressed up like a bride numerous times. Don't ever forget that, y'all. Right. How many of y'all remember that? And don't even sit up there and ever ask me no bullshit like that, girl. That'll get you motherfucking blocked over there asking me some shit like that. The hell wrong with you? You did. Virgil ain't never doing nothing of the sort. I'm a goddamn it, man. I wouldn't give a fuck if it was for 1 billion views on fucking YouTube. I would never ever in my life put on no fucking dress for any reason ever. That would literally have to kill me first. All right. Remember Aries dressed like a woman, y'all, Mad TV? Oh, so now I definitely gotta pull the video up. Now you don't ask no real nigga like me no goddamn question like that, girl. What the hell wrong with you? Ask me no shit like that. All right. You're now watching Mad TV. Mad.
Providing quality, intelligent television for the African American community. Brought to you by Crazy Horse Malt Liquor. Get your drink on with the horse. And Red Kool-Aid, because black people love red Kool-Aid. And now, live from Philadelphia, it's Reality Check. With your hostesses, Jogo McQueen and Thelma Button.
Here go your boy Aries Spears right there, dressing up like a bitch.
Good evening, I'm Thelma Button.
And I'm Jogo McQueen, and we're proud to be the only 2 black people on television today who ain't Williams.
And this is Reality Check.
The show where you leave your delusions at the door, sit your ass down, open up wide for a big slice of truth with a side of wisdom. Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of slice, told a girl you make this 7-up cake. Come on, girl, you know I did. Ooh, girl, this cake is so good, I'm gonna jump up and kick you in the mouth. Ooh, and thank you for sending your son over last night with that peach cobbler. Girl, it was so good, I had to drove over there and hit you in the head with a bat.
Oh, thank you for the compliment, girl.
Ooh, but girl, you know, now it's time for the news. Whoa! First up, Pam Anderson and Tommy Lee, time for your reality check. Go.
Girl, you need to leave that thugster. Only hits he's had lately has been the ones upside your head.
Oh, let me tell you something, child. God don't bless you with that wax show. You got the big booty and a nice body. You can get any man you want. Send
Pause. Right? So Aries can sit up there and he, Aries, he puts on this facade, this persona. Persona is literally the Greek Latin word for mask, actor's mask. And that's what I be saying about these people, dog, that they put in front of us, man. Even the ones that seem like they're rebels. The very fact that Aries Spears was willing to put on the dress and the wig and portray himself as a woman lets you know a lot about his character. I associate a guy who will be willing to do that, who will be the same guy who will snitch on you or even do some fun boy stuff. I associate snitchery with fun boyery, fun boy activity. Because if you would tell on somebody, you would blow a bell head too. Yeah, Uncle Diggity, a lot of people don't remember that. That's why you got real ones like me who are very much adamant fans, I dare say, which is short for a fanatic of pop culture. I told y'all I am a pop culture maven. You hear me? I could easily go on one of these shows and probably win. Right? A lot of people don't remember when Aries Spears dressed up like a woman on Mad TV. Y'all might try to say it's the results of the Mandela effect. Nah, it's just that they just don't put it out there. Oh, well, yeah, I guess you could say it is to some extent, yeah. But this is a part of the memory hole. Remember when I talked to y'all about the memory hole? See, Aries sit up here and say all this stuff about Lizzo, but like my man Chris said, he used to dress up like Lizzo. Now he's trying to make fun of Lizzo. Ain't that crazy? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's something I guess you have to talk to Aries Spears about or hear from him. But, he gives me off the energy of a guy, right, who's willing to play to a certain extent because he put on a dress. The fact that a guy puts on a dress lets you know he's willing to play. And him to never really have, y'all pay attention to it. Aries Spears has never really had like his own TV show or played in a plethora of movies, have notable roles in movies anyway. He doesn't have like a well-known stand-up comedy show like how Martin has a You So Crazy or Run Tell That or something of the nature or the like of the kind. And I would understand why he would be disgruntled and bitter because he was willing to play at some point and he never really got to see the success. Only Aries can tell you what happened to make him want to stop, right? Hey man, it could be argued, Cupcake man. It could be argued. I could agree with you on certain aspects of that. Aries Spears is cold with the impersonations, though. Remember when he came on Comic View? Remember when he came on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Remember when he came on Martin? You know what I'm saying? He was one of the dudes from the 90s that just didn't really take off like a lot of other guys did, man. I would sit up there and say, I'm going to say that I will accredit that to that some people be willing to go so far, seemingly in the beginning, but then they get to another level and they realize, like, oh no, I'm not really willing to go as far as I thought I was going to be willing to go. You understand what I'm saying? I can dig it. You said you saw Aries live as in. Yeah, I seen Aries. Listen, I'm about to tell y'all a story, right? I'm going to tell y'all a story. And I came up for this, man. I'm going to tell y'all a story. Right. The night I got arrested on this case that I just came home from 6 years ago, right? I was out at the Funny Bone, and who was there? Aries Spears. Funny as shit, doing all his impersonations. You know what I'm saying? Did a decent set. He was selling little copies of his DVD. I copped a copy of his DVD from him, chopped it up with him. He was a cool dude, man. Down to earth. Don't ever sit in the front row at an Aries Spears concert because he's going to blaze the entire front row. You know, it might kind of sound kind of funny for him to try to crack jokes because Aries Spears don't look good at all right now. No homo pause. I mean, health-wise, he looked like he's overweight. He appears to have some breathing issues going on, and he looked like he need to get in that gym, man. That's what I would say for Aries Spears. But you know what I'm saying? You know, Aries Spears put on that dress. And when it comes to these guys that put on the dress, anybody who knows me, follows me, been paying attention to my content stuff I've been doing, y'all know that I put emphasis on these dudes that put on the dress. Because I know what the ritualistic symbology of it represents. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, any guy who's willing to put on a dress, he's compromised already. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Chris Norwood. I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, that's just perfectly what he is. You feel me? And not only that, you hear me? Not only that, but keep this in mind, y'all. At some point, Aries was willing to play ball. He put that dress on numerous times, y'all. Not once. But that skit with him and old girl was a recurring skit for the whole entire life of Mad TV, which I think was like 4 to 6 seasons. And you know, Aries was supposed to blow off of Mad TV. He was the one who was set to blow off of that. Mad TV came out like around towards the end of In Living Color, right? And they tried to capitalize off of the sketch comedy. I remember at one point in time, Mad TV and In Living Color was coming on at the same time. You had Mad TV and Living Color, and you had Saturday Night Live. And Fox thought that it was a great idea to have In Living Color and Mad TV all on the same network at the same time. If I'm not mistaken, Mad TV used to come on first and then, or used to come on or something like that, if I'm mistaken. I might be mistaken, though. Don't quote me on that. I don't know everything, right? Yeah, man. So he's been wearing the same outfits as Mad TV. My man Chris Norwood, funny as hell. He's been wearing the same outfits since 2003, man. With the hat to the New York fitted to the back, solid tee, jeans, Timbs, with a towel over his shoulder. I think Aries Spears is funny on he's funny ha ha, if that makes any sense to you. He ain't like all around funny, like Cupcake said. He just funny with the impersonations, but he's not funny like a comedic funny. He's I mean, I ain't gonna say he's not funny stand up because he is. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, Aries can definitely control a crowd, hold a crowd, and sell a crowd. So I ain't gonna say he's not a good stand up comedian, but a comedic actor, no. I can't think of one movie I've seen Aries Spears play in. I could think of some shows he's played in. You know, like I said, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I ain't seen no like acting out of him. You feel me? That I personally see. Your boy Craig Robinson remind me of a Aries Spears that blew up, but didn't really blow up though, for real. Y'all know who old boy Craig Robinson is, don't you? The black dude that played in Pineapple Express and playing so many other movies. Hold on real quick, y'all. All right, yeah, I apologize about that, y'all, man. But yeah, though, man, you know, shout out to Aries Spears, though, man. This ain't like a dig on Aries Spears, man. But man, you got some explaining to do, bruh. And Tiffany Haddish do too. And we definitely getting into that tomorrow night. So y'all make sure y'all tap in and walk with us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. A Real Talk podcast. We going in. Yiddy. We're gonna break that thing down. We're gonna dissect that thing a little bit more. Tuesday, as y'all know, me and L going in. I don't know what the topic of the situation and the discussion is going to be for Tuesday with me and L, but we're going to come up with something for y'all. It's going to be beautiful. Wednesday, I got a surprise for y'all. Ladies' night, I got another surprise. Hopefully, I'm going to see if I can make this happen for y'all. I want a special lady to come on for Thursday night, ladies' night. I think it's going to be a beautiful thing and a perfect segue into a demonstration I got coming up as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Friday, we're going to go into it again, man. Weekly wrap-up. You know what I'm saying? Playing some music. Saturday, we getting into it. My man, Court, a.k.a. Rain Man, Rain Storms, Rain Money. We going in with his listening party for Saturday evening. Make sure y'all come to that next Saturday coming up. Rain Storms. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to sit there and break that thing down, man. Do a track-by-track commentary and all of that. Tap in and walk with us, man. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Hope y'all learned something tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Next level teaching over here. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button on your way out. You understand what I'm saying? Hit that share button. Share on your social media platforms, your social engineering platforms. Click on the subscribing bell. Subscribe to the page. Tell everybody to come in, man. Everybody y'all know that want their spiritual fix, man. That need their spiritual enlightenment that they ain't getting from these so-called churches, man. These synagogues of Satan, man. You know what I'm talking about? Tell them to come tap in and walk with us, man. We got you covered, man, to the best of our ability. You know what I'm saying? We're going to break things down to the goddamn very last compound. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get to the roots of the situation, man. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all coming out tonight, man. Like I say, y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're right here with us. Didn't mean for it to drag out long like this, though. But, you know, when we chopping up game, and it could just go on. It can just extend. You feel me? You know what I mean? Definitely gonna leave y'all with a track. You know what I'm talking about? Definitely gonna leave y'all with a track, man. Trying to see which one it's gonna be. Yeah, man. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Thanks everybody for coming out tonight, man. You feel me? I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I really do. You know what I'm saying? You already know, Chris Norrell. I appreciate that, brethren. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit that like button on the way out, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ride out to this E&E track, man. You know what I'm saying? This Thursday coming up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see if I can get this young lady on the show, man. You know what I'm saying? she sung the hook on this song right here. You know what I'm talking about? And this is a song off of my album. You know what I'm saying? Stacks with the Facts, the Real Contender. You hear me? And I'm gonna see if I can get her on the show, man, because she's doing some beautiful things, man. You know what I'm saying? She's being successful in her career, what she's pursuing with her music, man. She having some success with it. So it's only right that she come on the show. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and rock out to this song right here. This is beautiful off of my album, Stacks with the Facts, the Real Contender. You know what I'm talking about? I'm about to, goddamn it, drop the link in the chat for sure so y'all can go get that. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go ahead and get that joint right there. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and download that joint, man. That's from me to y'all. You hear me? We're going to ride out to this joint, man. Thanks, everybody, for coming out, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that like button, man. Click on that bell. Subscribe to the page and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Say your salutations and your loved ones and see you ladies and holla at us and see you next Sundays to everybody, man. This is what we do every Sunday over here at A-Real Talk Podcast. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? We having these spiritual root breakdowns of everything in our reality and in our society and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Give you a more proper, clearer, over inner outer understanding of the things that we face within this reality. You understand what I'm saying, man? It's a beautiful thing, man. You know what I'm talking about? It's a real good thing, real beautiful thing. Appreciate y'all coming out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ride out, man. Y'all be good, man. Hit that like button.
Yeah. Stacks with the facts. Stacks with the real contender. The real contender. You know, it's a lot of ugly things. A lot of ugly things in the world, baby. Even though we're being manipulated and hating each other and hating each other, I still choose to love. Got a lot of love to give. Got Onyx singing the vibes. Trying to just go, sis.
Life's beautiful. Can't wait to move on and let go. So beautiful. Life's beautiful.
This life we live in, nobody promised tomorrow, man. We gotta make it by any means necessary, man. I won't be happy till all my diamonds canary, man. And all my brethren and sister locked up in the prison. Come home, no more worries about commissary, man. We've been tricked into thinking the world is filled with hate. Same time being tricked to forgetting that we great. My brother Moochie lost his life about a year ago. James holding it down is so beautiful. My brother K-Roll went to go be back with the essence. I truly miss him because he taught me so many life lessons. I sit back and I reflect on how the world could be if there was no more wars, no more poverty. But I'ma keep dropping jewels, it ain't no stopping me. Ghost band, shadow band, it ain't no blocking me. We truly truthful. Stacks with the facts featuring Onyx. Truly beautiful. Say.
I know it's hard, but there's beauty in the struggle. The impossibility of love. Life's beautiful. Can't wait to move on and let go. So beautiful. Life's beautiful.
2020 coronavirus are full of fake. They lying about the numbers, brother, they full of shit. We went from holding the business to unemployment checks. Everybody masked up like they robbing shit and holding vaccinations, but they ain't stopping shit. No, I'm saying rest in the essence, the Casey Gibson Jr. Another young life gone. We sending prayers to him. To every mother who's ever had to bury a child. When your heart gets heavy, just look up in the clouds. Put a smile on your face, tell them they made you proud. We being tricked into thinking the world is so slow. I'm about to get off parole. This world is so slow. My mom just got out of surgery. That's so low. I'm in a league of my own. No man above none. Truly truthful. Stacks with the facts featuring Onyx is truly beautiful. Say.
I know it's hard, but there's beauty in the struggle.